Educated people from Angela. I know they are so happy. They are so happy on the mass. Sugar whiskey on the way. From a demo of Chile hot dog. After Brangela, and I say your play. I say your play, I say your play, I say your play. I say your play, I'm on Chise Paluco. The West Swell. The Brangela, we are from Brangela. The Brangela, we are from Brangela. Let me tell you something, my people. Let me tell you something I say. The Brangela, we are great people from there. The Brangela, we are powerful people, intelligent people, educated people from Brangela. I know they are so happy on the mass well. The marshal done the song, the Baba again song, the most joyful song. We are from Nigeria, they have another song, that's another song, the Brangela is the electric song. The Brangela de Caipale song, the Corribia song, the Princio song, the Gabatia song, the Podemoyo song, LS,
All right, folks, welcome to this program. I'm Alphonso Zean of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Very shortly, we're going to get this program on the way here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. Stay tuned. I will be right with you. All right, folks. There you have it. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us here this evening. The discussion, the conversation is on following the visit of Representative Yeke Kolubat and the ANC political leader Alexander Benedict Cummins in the provincial Senate of Zwedrut, Grangeda County, Republic of Liberia. The fallout is on the rise. We just got a statement we're hearing now from the other council and the women wing of Grangeda County making a condemnations on the political fracas that unfolded in Grangeda County. We are also hearing it's now being confirmed that Representative Yeke Kolubat will be returning to Grangeda County in the coming days of week. A lot of that is unfolding. Our special guest, Alexander Ellis Chesia Grant, is standing by in Liberia. I have with me the former president of the Grangeda Association, Mr. Fred Talo Gweon, will be joining me, Professor Asek Sezawulo, and that of Roosevelt Johnson Jr. They will all be coming here to get a take on the current unfolding development. With these and many more, here right here on the Diaspora Internet Giant Station to Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am Alphonso Zean in control right here this afternoon. Let's take a quick commercial break and I will be right back.
The search for honest answers in the Zwedru saga involving Representative Yeke Kolubat and ANC Alexander Benedict Cummings is taking more critical conversation on the Diaspora Informative News Network Liberia Public Radio. Grand Jeda Legislative Caucus condemned the incident. Now Caucus Chair Alex C. Grant will be appearing live on LPR TV with Alphonso Zean. In addition, we will be getting dissenting views from Grand Gedians and non-Grand Gedians. Join me live in today's edition of Freedom Watch on LPR TV.
All right, there you have it. Stay tuned. We're going to be here to get this going here, right here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. I'm Alphonso Zean. Some of my guests are here already, and we'll have this soon. Okay, we want to welcome you. Let me go to Philadelphia, where is the former national president of the Grand Unit Association in the America, Mr. Fred Guion, is now joining me while we wait for the other guest. Fred Guion is a strong sedition, but tweet coming from him here is quite different here. Let me just welcome again, Mr. Guion. Good morning, good afternoon.
Well, thank you, Mr. Sold. Good afternoon.
All right. Okay, well, it's good. Thank you that you honor our invitations. No questions about that. Strong opinion leader within the Grand Jita community right here in the USA and other parts here. And you are former sitting president. Let me just quickly get your instant reactions. Since this whole thing here, we haven't seen a position statement or we haven't heard anything from the national administration. That is the Grand Jita Association. How troubling is that information? How troubling is it?
Well, I don't know. I know the president was bereaved. He had to bury his mother yesterday, so maybe all of that took his mind. But notwithstanding, there are board members and there are other members in the community. So I don't know what's going on, but I think anything of such in our community it should attract the instant attention of all the leaders, and they have to either to give a statement out of for or against. But you can't just be mute. So I don't know what's going on.
Are you disappointed, Mr. Guion?
Well, I'm not disappointed per se because I did speak on my own behalf. I didn't speak for no group. But yeah, kind of because as a community, like I said, if something of this nature happens, especially on the national scale. There should be a statement, and up to now, there's nothing. So maybe I know I was in a low gathering last night, and I brought it up, and somebody asked me, "Well, why a GJD did not write a statement?" So I said, "Well, you could be right." So I can be, not being the one to put out a statement too. Then I come in.
Okay, Mr. Guion, let me just hold you. The man who followed all of this that unfolded in Liberia in the provincial state of Zouadrou is our national correspondent. Abu Toure is currently joining me via this video. He's based in the provincial state of Zouadrou. Abu, good evening and good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Zean, and that of our guest, Mr. Fred Guion, and to all of those who are monitoring around this time.
Okay, Professor Zawlo, if you can feature your camera, we will get you here. Let me go to Zouadrou. There, perfect. Professor Zawlo. Professor Zawlo is a strong sedition. Tweet is also coming out here, breaking dissenting views on this network here. But Abu, let me just go to you. How is the situation in Zouadrou as far as we are concerned?
Well, since then, the situation as related to Honorable Koluba issue or incident in Grand Jita, many Grandians from around the world have condemned the action. That's the first thing. The last time I read, Samuel Kayando Jr. condemned the action. I mean, a lot of Grandians. I can name all of them. Even the Diocese of Kipama, that's the Catholic Church, expressed serious concern as related to violence that took place in Zouadrou. Okay. So far, a lot of people have condemned it, and even the government have come out recently to as well condemn the issue and ask for full-scale investigation in the issue. And even the superintendent of Grand Jita, which is Rambokai Fale, has been called to Monrovia so as to assist in carrying out the investigation in order to bring all of those who are responsible to book.
Okay, we also being joined by a prominent son of Grand Jita from UK. I'm talking about Mr. Roosevelt Tara Johnson Jr. who is based in the United Kingdom. He's joining here. Mr. Johnson, to welcome. I'm going to be coming to you guys. Let's go to your own country, Grand Jita County. Let's see how this whole scenario is being played out. Abu, like you said, we saw the statement from the government of Liberia now calling on the superintendent to go to Monrovia. What is the political implication? What are they saying there in Liberia?
Come back with the last question.
what is the talking point now in the street of Zwedru with respect to Superintendent Kai Fale now going to Morovia?
Well, actually, the issue was though other people have criticized, that this government is not doing much to do with the issue, but I think the issue of Superintendent Kai Fale going to Morovia is to actually help those security apparatus who will be responsible to investigate the issue that happened, so that they can help. I think we also the publication so that they can help in providing probably other questions. I mean, providing other information or answering other questions.
I got a statement from Dr. Bullet, and just before coming on air, the other councils in Morovia, the women wing, they are also coming with a statement. In fact, the statement is already, they have made a statement. We're going to be receiving the copy, and we hope to tap into that. The condemnation is overwhelming.
Right.
Superintendent Kai Fale, is his job on the line? Is he being used as a scapegoat into this whole thing here? Is that the thinking of the people?
Well, a lot of people are expressing cross views, more especially when it comes to what government is saying. Like I spoke to a few persons, and they said, nothing going to come out of this. In fact, this whole thing was planned by the government. So on that basis, in fact, everything that government is doing, they are pretending, and absolutely nothing will come from all of this. Nobody will be arrested, and so forth. So the public actually having some sort of misconception, because what they saw from the beginning, it shows to everyone that indeed the government was not doing anything, because during the protest we have armed police who were present, and no attempt was made to arrest anyone, and the police were looking at people, those who were demonstrating, police were seeing those who were drunken, police were seeing those who escalated the entire process. I mean, police saw all of these people, and no attempt like arrests were made. So the public actually they don't really trust this recent publication from the government.
Okay, let me just hold you right there. I want to verify that, because I was told by the source, the Cali Diocese in Grand Jita County made a special has filed a complaint with the embassy near Morovia. They immediately have now sent this cable to Washington. That led to the government of coming with this statement here. How is that playing out? This seems to be going beyond another step into this whole thing here.
Is that question coming to me?
Yeah. Is that information on the ground? Is that something that you are saying that the Cali Diocese, there was some looting, there was some vandalism that went on the Cali compound, where they are holding government officials, like the government of Dr. George, we are responsible, and complaints subsequently being filed with Washington. There seems to be some pressure being mounting.
Well, I don't have any information on that about property being damaged at the Catholic school or Catholic church. But where the incident took place, kind of far from the Catholic church, and also far from the Catholic school. So I'm just hearing this. I've not heard anything about any damage because from the Catholic own compound.
Okay,
I'm just hearing that.
Okay, Abu, thank you so much. I want to also acknowledge a former representative of Grand Jita County. At some time, we're going to get a point for him. The Honorable William K. Glade is based within the Washington area of Maryland, D.C. Let me go to my guests. They're going to be introducing themselves. He's Professor Zawolo, is go to this network. Also says Zawolo is a strong sedition, has advocated numerous times the agenda of the CDC. Fred Taloguyon is also a sedition. I'm not sure what I want to establish the identity of Mr. Roosevelt Johnson Jr. based in the UK, but it would be quite fascinating to see these gentlemen. Professor Zawolo, good afternoon. You're smiling.
Did I what?
Good afternoon.
Oh, how you doing, Alphonso?
Okay, good to have you here. Let me go to a friend and brother, Mr. Roosevelt Johnson Jr. The name Roosevelt Johnson is a very familiar name into the politics and also what is unfolding during the civil crisis. Mr. Johnson, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Good. Good to be with you. We are talking about your county. That is a Grand Jita County, correct?
Yes, of course, indeed.
Okay, for the benefit of my audience, probably they have been hearing this name yet. So it is a tradition yet for you to introduce yourself.
Well, anyway, I would like to say hi to everyone on the show today, first of all, and we give God the glory for everything we do today, especially in today, and whatsoever we say. I am Roosevelt R. Johnson Jr. For those of you who may not know me or may heard about me before, I basically in the UK for many years, and often back home in Grand Junction most of the time. And yeah, I work here when the school year, and yeah.
Okay. It's good to have you here. Thank you for honoring our conversation here, our talking point here. I think we can talk about Grand County without leaving Roosevelt Johnson Jr. out of the picture. So I'm glad that you are here this evening here with us. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Let me come to our guys here. Let me bring two of these gentlemen, Mr. Fred Taluguyon and I say Professor Ase Sezawlo. You guys, I'm not going to label you guys yet, but that's the true identity. You are Occidentians. You support CDC government. Fred Taluguyon has been a strong advocate of the CDC government. What is going on in Grand Jide? Is that a usual politics that we've been seeing from time to time, Mr. Zawlo, Professor?
I wouldn't say it's the usual politics. I think what transpired in Zwedru, it has created opportunities for us to sit down and talk about our body politics, the tone of our engagement, the message we are sending out there, and so I think this is an opportunity. Albeit it looks ugly. We at the CDC support the rights of every individual to move freely throughout the length and breadth of Liberia. But we equally so respect the rights of our Liberian citizens to say, we are concerned about certain individuals being at certain places at certain times because those individuals present views that may be detrimental to the things that we are projecting in our communities. I'm very certain that we will all resist certain kind of individuals coming in our backyard to maybe do certain things.
Well, you coming in. What is it when you say coming to your backyard? What is the interpretation of?
Literally in my backyard. If somebody was to come in, if an individual was to come in, maybe walk in my backyard, I could have some concerns about that. I mean, even though every individual has the right to move freely, even in the United States, but I will have concerns with certain people coming in my backyard, and I'll raise concerns.
Okay.
I think that's something that we should not ignore in this situation.
Okay, let's see whether it is your backyard. Let me bring your fellow partisans and maybe Roosevelt Johnson Jr. here. I'm going to break the deal here. Mr. Green, are you there? Mr. Green, are you there?
Yeah, I'm not getting you. 1 minute.
Yeah, you got to use your headphone probably.
Yeah, this headphone is just messing me up.
The cell phone doing the right thing because you won't get a hard time.
Okay. The Liberal Progressive from Sacramento is also here with us. Yeah, Mr. Green, are you hearing me now? Mr.
No,
Green?
it's not working.
So,
you hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Fred.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm not sure what I hear.
Real well.
Yeah, no, my phone here is. I'm trying to find the mic on this thing. I'm not even finding the ringtone.
Okay. Let me just see here. Okay, be funny. Let me see here. It seems to be Professor Zawlo is praying in the temple there now for Fred Taluguyon Magna to work here. I'm not sure whether that's going to be the case here. I'm going to be coming here. The Liberal Progressive something tour is based in California, Studio B. I will be coming to something, but Mr. Johnson, let me just bring you here. How is this thing playing out in UK with respect to what is unfolding in Grand Jide County?
Well, to be honest with you, everyone have the different perspective and views on what's going on in Grand Jide and in Zulu whiskey. For me personally, a lot of Liberians are talking about, most especially the Grand Jidians, they are talking about some of them totally against it, some of them for it, but majority of the Grand Jidians are not really interested, not for what is going on in Grand Jide. Some of them condemn it strongly. Some of them don't prefer those things going on in Grand Jide as a whole, because majority of them saying that we have been used from the past and we're still being manipulated in that sense that people are trying to use Grenada as the, you know what I mean, one of those places that you can where confusion over lies. But when it comes to my opinions and views on the thing, I strongly condemn what happened in Grenada the other day. I don't consider myself as one of those persons who for what is going on. It just feel minority of the people decided to do what is going on in Grenada. Grenada is a place of being peaceful and the loving, kind people. And to see what is going on, I strongly condemn it. And I will ask the president to totally carry on investigation in Grenada, because we cannot have such thing going on in Grenada like that. We have been a very peaceful country for many years, and we want to continue to commit to that. And I'm finally, I actually for the CDC-led government. We supported. I personally supported CDC government from time to time when it started in the 90s, and I continue to strongly support it. And but to carry on what is going on in Grenada, I definitely strongly condemn it, and we don't want to see something like that going on in Grenada County, because if you remember, we fought for the right of our people in Grenada County. When there was no one, we fought. And we cannot continue to allow such things and our people being used by smaller things. And we don't want such thing to happen in Grenada County like that again. Because I spoke to a couple of guys in Grenada when this happened. I called Monrovia, I talked to Kochi, I talked to Moruba, and I mean, we can't lie. We will not sit down and accept things happen. Every Liberian has the right to go, any part of Liberia. That's why we have our political views. That's why we have our differences with one another. But every Liberian has the right to go any part of Liberia. I don't support how they call him the representative, his rhetoric and insult towards the president. I really don't support it. But what I do support, democracy, and everyone has the right to go wherever they want to go in Liberia. So so long you are Liberians. So I strongly condemn it, really condemn it. I did not like it, and I urge all Grenadans, and I urge the president to investigate it, proper investigations, and those who's found guilty, they must be justified, they must be brought to justice.
Okay. All right. Fred, let me see what that phrase there. The Liberal Progressive, Samson Branto, are you there?
Yes, I am, Mr. So. I'm not too sure if I'm audible.
Well, you are audible. I hope don't bring that here. This is a serious business that we have here. So make yourself audible here this afternoon. You started this talking point and it went explosive, and here we are. So please make sure that your microphone here is working here. Okay? Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Yes, I am hearing you. Thank you.
Okay. Yesterday we broke the news here. We were told that Representative Yeke Koluba, in fact, is on his way. He's on his way. He's going back to Grenada County. That is huge. The condemnations is overwhelming. Also, I was told this morning the other council, the women wing in Morovia, they are come up with a position statement like condemning this act. Senatorial aspirant Bill Willanyano, the guy that you support, came out to speak. I got a message from Dr. George Bolle giving like condemnation, but there are some people still there and still say, well, this is not anything, this is a usual type politics here. And so what do you make of it? Is your message resonated, you think?
Yes, Mr. So, I was one of the first to condemn the young people behavior, and I think I did almost 3 hours on my show talking about this issue. But I want us to be very careful when we go in condemning. First of all, to condemn the entire youth population, I think is wrong, and I hope we try to stay away from that type of behavior. The second thing is, we have to be very careful. In as much as the young people behavior is ridiculous and is something that we all should condemn and make sure these things don't happen anymore, let us also remember that when you were young at one time, and especially if you were at that level, you watched most of these young people, not that I'm trying to condemn them, but their level of understanding from my own perspective is not as high as you would like. Now, when I was their age and my level of understanding was very low as well. There's a young man right now in New York called Mama Musa. Even though I never supported IE, but the fact that this man used to bring joy to us when they go play football. I dare anybody for me to be there for you to cause Mama Musa, you myself are going to get into it. So let's look at this thing here from a perspective of a human being. These young people have gravitated to Dr. Weir for a very long time. Some of them grew up in the refugee home, and the only hope they have at the time were through Dr. Weir because their country was being destroyed. Some of them didn't even believe they were going to come back to Liberia. So their connection, emotional connection to Dr. Weir should be taken into consideration as well. Having said that, I think the leadership, when you are a leader of a county or whatever, it doesn't matter how old you are. You're almost like the father of that area. People should gravitate towards you. When you see people having issue, you inject yourself into it so that people will understand that the leadership, your leadership ability, it's not just for paper and pen, but that you get involved in the community. So I know you guys are talking some wonderful things, but I want us to be very careful how we condemn these young people. These are our own brothers and sisters, not because I'm a Crown person. It could happen to any other tribe. Now, we know Liberia political season is on, and the bigger one is yet to come. Let us be mindful. Let us think about what will happen in the future. Today is Grand Jida Youth. What if some other county youth decide to do something, not like this, but something else? Then we gravitate towards that and try to. Let us use this opportunity to educate the entire youth population in the Republic. I think that will serve us well than to just go now and say the youth of Grand Jida County. And those people that have comment that I've been seeing, these are people that I respect. I believe they are highly educated, but for some reason, that part of the educational level perhaps didn't sit in well with them, and so they're missing that part. Because you have to look at it and that's why I'm a liberal progressive. I look at it from a broad perspective, Mr. So I don't just look at it from a conservative side and a narrow-minded conservative. I don't do those things. So yeah,
you want to have it both ways.
Okay, so this guy he's trying to go. Yeah. So, Mr. Guion, are you audible now? Your mic okay now?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, good. It's perfect. Okay, let me create a clash of things right here with you and Professor Zawlo. He's smiling. Professor Zawlo argument is they are in his backyard, and
no, not necessarily so. I added that to my argument. Mm-hmm. I said that I didn't say it was. I just added that as a part of my argument. It's not the crux of my argument that it's in your backyard. I only said that. Look,
should we nullify that argument then?
No. But it wasn't the crux of my argument.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's one of the many things that I said.
Okay. So, Mr. Guion.
Yes.
Okay, let me hear directly from the house's mouth. Even though I saw it, you make a tweet. You wrote something on your Facebook page for the benefit of my audience. So, what was that all about?
Well, I woke up. Actually, my nephew called me from Zwedru and said, "Oh, because when the trip was made by Honorable Cummings and Yeka Koluba, I mean, I followed them all through. You know, like you said, I'm a civilian. So when political leaders are traveling around the country, it is some of our duty to just follow them and listen to what they are saying and just follow everything that they're doing. So I've been following them from Maryland, Sano, and those places. I didn't even know they were going to Zwedru until I got that call that morning, and my nephew told me, "Oh, you guys Zwedru, and the noise is going on and everything." And, you know, I ran straight to KMTV and started watching all the videos, and I saw what happened. And then that's why I came up with that statement. It was wrong. I didn't condemn, but I said it was wrong. You know, and the county should apologize to the man that was there. In fact, I got a text from one of my friends who is also an ANC member. You know, ANC is from CDC now, so you have people who served CDC before, and one of those persons is Lafayette Gould. You know, Lafayette Gould served as chairman of CDC in Montreal before. So I got a text from him, inbox. He said, "My man," now he said, "Well, I'm on his delegation. You also in Zwedru too." So I got a text, and I started going through all the videos and trying to, you know, make a case for myself, because I just didn't want to write anything that I didn't know what was happening. So I saw the video. Then one particular video that I saw where Yeager was in the place, and he made that statement that the people outside, they are my people, they are here to see me, and I'm going outside to them. Then somebody said, well, they don't want you to go outside. I said, well, I'll go outside to them. They are my people. If I go outside, the chicken I will be butchered will be butchered. That's what you made that statement. So I look at the whole thing, you know, I thought the same way the government or the county authority created that corridor for them to leave, I thought they would have created the same corridor for them to. You can refuse to speak to or listen to someone. You can refuse, you know, not to listen to what they are telling you, but you cannot stop them. You cannot drive them out of anywhere in Liberia, and that's what was my stand. And this government, our government, the only thing, I'm going to say this publicly, that's my own thinking. The only thing, corruption, not corruption, all of those things, but the only thing that's going to carry us through in 2023 is the way what the president have done to decriminalize free speech. And there have to be free speech, free movement of people, no political prisoners, and what I feel, no secret killings. What I feel.
But Mr. Green, I have to interrupt. Is the free speech is enforced today, seeing what unfolded in your county? Can we say it? Can we practically say it is real?
That's why now the government instituted. I would say free speech is real. Because remember now, they went to 4 other counties before they got to Grand jury. They went 4 other places,
But
where they were free.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they were free to say whatever they wanted to say. And, you know, when Yeka Koluba is in Montserrat County, he's the representative. He goes on the tirade in Montserrat and does whatever he wants to do. Well, do I condone that? No, I think that the House of Representatives, they have the right to somehow censure him or call him to vote. But that is they got their own rules and regulations in the House. But he's in Montreal, he does whatever he wants to do. So if you ask me whether there's free speech in Liberia, I would say yes.
Okay. Yeah, Professor, you want to come?
I just want to add this, Mr. Tool, can I get it both ways? He can condemn, and he can say I condemn, but I didn't condemn. You know, either you condemn and you stay there, or you say I will not condemn because of some reason. Because the justification he wants to give for saying that the youth are this and that and this and that and that. The county officials are the ones who control the county. And, you know, and when the superintendent walked in there, he could have come in and told the young people, say, look, these people, they're Liberians, they have all right to say whatever they want to say, so long they are not infringing on your rights in this county. Now, what is my right in this county? Your right is when this man is speaking, if you don't want to listen to him, you walk away. But you can stay there. You can hold your placard up. I'll give you an example of Alphonso before I leave the stage. The vice president came right near my house here, Boykai. He came here.
And you went through.
Yeah. And I went in there. I was well dressed up. I went in there. I had a placard up in the church. The police director, who I know from my little county here, he was standing right behind me, the police chief. He didn't say anything. You know what? When the threw her out of the hall, when everybody now, because you know they're copycat all around. So when they saw me standing there, those who never went there to protest and join the group and started cussing at the vice president, saying a whole lot of words. Then the police director called for backup, and he walked to me. The police director came to me and said, "Sir, you have to take your people outside." So I said, "Well, they are not my people." They said, "Well, you came here and you put a placard on. They saw you and told your people." So I turned around. Of course, I knew all the guys. I turned around. I said, "Jamaica, go outside," and went outside. So you see, it's just it's simple,
So the liberal seems to be going to what? He's trying to unbalance himself. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Green? Before I go to the man you say he's a liberal. Liberal always try to make something.
We need a liberal to be liberal, but they can't be. They can't have it two ways.
The liberal try to walk fine line, and
let me give you two of you who are also my little brother. Let me just interrupt you if you don't mind.
No age business. We are on a serious business here.
No age business.
You know, when you come on my network here, You have a leverage when you on your liberal platform. You are a California-based guy here. This is a different line here. Let me just go ahead so you can say I was so mean to you here this afternoon. Today's the first Sunday. Go ahead, liberal.
Yeah, no, the point here, folks, first of all, I'm an older person and I'm older than both of you. I can't come on these type of platform and try to squeeze any other person, forget it whether Grandidian or not. I always have to play the older person role. I know the culture. This is what these young people did to our brother. Not only our brother, he's also our brother-in-law. It's ridiculous. I just not only distance myself, I condemn it. However, my point I want all of us to understand is we know what they did is wrong. We're going to condemn them. But let us use this opportunity not just for condemnation, but also to teach for the young people, the other young people that are watching, to say this behavior is wrong. Let's use this type of platform. We can condemn. I can come out here and say, I don't like what it's not going to help anything it's done.
Okay.
All we have to do now is the young people that are watching, say this is not the kind of behavior that if you want a true democracy in your country, this is not how you behave.
Okay.
I'm not trying to fight. You know me. I don't bite and blow. You know me. I'm a liberal, but I don't take these kinds of positions very easily. These are emotional time for all of us, so we have to be very careful.
Mr. Toll.
But of course, you can call me anything you want. Anyway,
you're not going to prepare any dinner here that you know that I'm not going to take in here. So that sort of salad dressing thing. Look, you want to be dog, be dog. You want to be cat, be cat. Don't be dog cat. Let me go to United Kingdom to where Roosevelt Johnson Jr. is standing by. Mr. Johnson, let me just bring you in here. Can we have it both ways?
Yeah, of course. Why not?
Okay. So, do you agree with the liberal talking point?
Well, I probably really do agree with it. Definitely do agree with it.
Okay, there you go. Okay, trying to win some liberal from the United Kingdom here. Let's see.
The thing here is, let me comment a little bit. The thing here is that where Mr. Tory is saying, you have to stay on what you have to say the truth, because our young folks in Grand County, you have to let them know they're wrong. We cannot continue these things to happen within our country that we fought for many years to get our respect, to get our respect back from many Liberians. And we cannot condone these things in our country. We have to make sure, let them know that this is wrong. We don't say that. We don't, by seeing it's wrong, that means we don't support, it doesn't mean we support Yege, what he's doing in Monrovia, by insulting everybody, by jumping on top of the car. No, I don't pray to support him. Not at all. I've been CDC for many years, and I say the truth many times when I talk to a lot of the CDC government, which is the officials, Motorbas, Coach, and other guys. I speak to them all the time, and I tell them the truth. Gentlemen, this is what's supposed to be done. You guys are not doing the right thing for the people. Let's do it this way. Let's try to sprout another strategy to do it for the people right. But when these things are happening in our country, and we just look at it and say, no, the reason is that because our people are angry, because of people anger. Come on, we have to condemn it. Cummins went to Grand Crew. The president is from Grand Crew, but nobody went came in the street, isn't it? So why should we allow these things to happen in our place?
Okay.
You know?
Professor, let me just bring you here. Is this a political ploy on the part of the ruling establishment to get us into this sort of a den here? Now we're finding ourselves. It's just a complete damage control that we are on. Was that a creation of the ruling party to create this sort of political drama in Grenada, you think?
Seriously, the ruling party will never engage in such. The ruling party has absolutely no need, no reason to do so. Why? We are a movement of generation. This movement is strong, and I can assure you that for the next 12, we're going to be in power for 12 years. That's for sure. So we don't need to play this kind of game.
Considering where it's unfolding, you're going to be in
definitely because we connect better with the people of Liberia. We didn't become Liberians after retiring in the United States. We have always been Liberians. We have been in the ghettos fighting for them. All right, like I'm so glad to see a person like Roosevelt Johnson Jr. and Fred Taluwan, people who I know have been in the trenches, fighting along with the people of Liberia. And these are people who support our cause. But let me come back to one thing. I think I think the person who's trying to be a liberal now is my brother Fred. I think the thing about it, when he says that you can't have it both ways, I think that's a liberal or conservative approach. You see it in one light. But I think what Brother Two has been saying is similar to what I've said on my Facebook posting. This is an opportunity for us to have a national discourse. Now, is it right for young people to engage in vile language in the street? Is it right for young people to be throwing stones at people who they may not agree with? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We do not condone, we do not support it. But now we have to take into consideration what may have led those young people to take such an extreme action. You understand how some of us speak about one another, the kind of stress we are making when we are in certain places. I don't think leading to our young people to take such an extreme, now it's grand Gita. How sure are we this could not happen in other counties? You know, we talk about this copycat thing. So what we are saying is that, look, this is an opportunity for a national discourse. And I'm glad to hear that Mr. Koluba is going back to Grand Gita. I think it's important for him to go to Grand Gita, and I think it's important for the Grand Gitans to listen to him.
Do you welcome his going back?
I welcome his going back. And I would encourage him to be able to speak to the young people who are protesting his presence in Grand Gita. Listen to them and hear what they are saying. Look, I feel proud of those Grand Gitans. I feel very proud of those young Grand Gitans who are saying, look, the kind of discussion you are having, the kind of speech you are engaged in Monrovia is vile. We don't want to be hearing that. It has to stop. Now, I condemn their methodology. I don't agree with the fact that they were using the same curse words they were accusing Mr. Koluba of using. I also do not agree with any one of those people who throw stones at any vehicle. I don't think that's the right thing to do. I don't think that's the way we want our body politics to go. But I think it's an important. This is a crossroad for our democracy.
Right.
You know, and we must applaud those young people for at least compelling us, the older ones, to sit down and have this kind of discussion. I think we should not be just criticizing them. So for me personally, I think I'm very grateful that they have brought this thing to the national, to the level of national discourse.
Okay, this is why your colleague tweeted on his Facebook page. I'm going to be coming to Mr. Johnson Jr. I'm making reference directly to Mr. Professor Zawlo. This is what the chairman of the CDC, Canada base, Jerry Bade, hopefully he calls in here today. He said Grand Gita is part of Liberia, so every Liberian has the right to live or visit there, despite our troubled political differences. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that. But I equally understand and appreciate the rights of those Grand Gitans to say that we don't want to hear certain things at a certain place. Look, it's both ways. Those Grand Gitans had the rights to be where they stood that day, and equally so Yeke had the right to be there. Look, protocols in this whole situation, if protocol was observed, this would have been prevented.
Yep.
Definitely knows.
So protocol was observed. That's a very critical point you are making that. Who should have instituted that protocol?
Oh, it should have started from those who are visiting.
Started from who?
From those who are visiting.
Those who are visiting.
Those who are visiting should have communicated. I gave you typical examples of one person.
Hold on right there. Let me get Mr. Johnson's reaction right on the same event as Liberia Public Radio. Always keep it proportional. And I interviewed the superintendent of Grand Gita County.
Yeah.
I will play that yet, but let me just get Mr. Johnson's reaction here. Mr. Johnson, do you think the opposition community, do you think they effectively handle this whole scenario as a whole? Because to be honest with you, I was pissed because lack of them, their inability to also address the issue, or those who are the doers of the issue, instead all Grand Gitans were put in a basket of deplorable. That was ridiculous on their part. But do you think they effectively handled the situation as well?
No, I don't think they did. I don't think really they did. I really don't think they did. Because one fact, when before going, according to the superintendent of Mr. Fadi, he said that they didn't let him know he was coming to the county and so on. So probably they didn't inform him that they were coming to Grand Gita at the time, and that's why the people got together to tell Mr. Yeke to not enter the county. And I don't think they did, to be honest.
Okay, just hold on 1 second. Let me see here. Okay, let's see if we're able to get the superintendent interview here. Let me see whether the audio will do us a favor. Okay, while I'm working on that here, I'm not sure. I'm not getting this, so it means it's not playing here. Let me just work on it here. Let me bring in the other folks here as well. Let me just bring in the Liberal Progressive.
Yes.
What do you think going to be now? There is a statement coming from GOL, that's the government of the Republic of Liberia, asking the superintendent to proceed to, I would say, headquarters, Monrovia, to assist with the investigation, the context, and I read that communication, the connotations and the context of that communication that's kind of very unusual. So was the superintendent acting in isolation? Because I talked to him, I interviewed him, and the superintendent said there was a call from the Ministry of National Defense to augment the strength of the security apparatus. And my question was, if AFL are going in there, why not the same men and women, the some men that have gone in there, could not provide the security to have the Honorable and Alexander Cummings to speak to the audience? And there was no tangible answers on the part of the superintendent he provided. That's kind of a little bit has hair scratching. What is he going for? What do you think going to happen?
Well, I'm not too sure what's going to happen, but let me say this here very quickly, Mr. So. I think this, for me, as a liberal progressive, you have trapped me here again this evening, and you brought in all sedition, and you want me to sit here with you and have a conversation. And here, the professor telling us that they're going to be in there for 12 years. I mean, and you expect me to not speak to that? They're not going to do that. We're going to give them the opportunity to leave for 6 years, and we'll say thank you very much, clap for them, and then let them say we're going to do that. But that's besides the point. I just want to clear that. No, on a very serious note, Mr. So. What happened? And I'm going to take the position as well, which is. Even though we call ourselves somebody who can read and write, but let us don't forget we have culture. There's no question asked. Koluba, remember, it's a brother-in-law to Grandjean. The first thing. I think the superintendent would have done himself a favor by not even showing up completely, but by showing up with the video that came out. There's no excuse of his behavior. There is no excuse of showing.
Okay, let me see if I.
Hold on, Mr. So. This is the man that fought during the war. I don't care which side you're on, but fought for us to live, all Liberians to live. This man gave his life almost for people to have the freedom to speak freely. And then when the time comes for you to exhibit that attitude, to say, look, this is not what we fought for, you're there without showing no leadership. I thought that was bad. Now, by him being called to Monrovia, I'm not too sure what they're going to say. But Mr. Koluba, if I was in his position, he should give his brother-in-laws chance to see if he's going to be to be invited to say, come back here to Grandjean County. But if he goes on his own, he can't do that. But then that means he's just rubbing our faces in the mud more. He's our brother-in-law. He should understand that now all Grandjeanians like this. Let him give us the opportunity to see if other people, including the superintendent, to see if they will say, okay, this thing is wrong. My brother-in-law, come back in Grandjean. Let's have a conversation. This is culture. This is culture. But then again, he has the right to say, I don't even want to listen to you. I'm coming as a politician.
Okay, so talking about that, yeah, you are Liberty Party guy. Yeah. So why were you when Liberty? You want these people? They are seditions. I am not part of you guys. Yeah, you are a Liberty Party man. You have articulated Liberty Party's agenda here that you guys going to take. So why you try to incite this into here? Now you think the brother-in-law as well, and that's how we say it. We on the other side of the world, which you don't usually like, for which you did not mean several times on your platform. I'm going to get it out here now in the public, but I always welcome you here. Do you think the brother-in-law that went to Grandjean, who also used the word that you're going to butcher people, do you think that's how brother-in-law too, when they get to their people, is that how brother-in-law? Do you wish to be a brother-in-law in that category as well?
Mr. So, I said these things have twofold.
You did not mention it. No, hold on right there. You did not mention it. So don't come speaking isolation and you expect me to make a guess here or what comes into one to say.
I'm gonna let you ride because I know you're uncover sedition. So right away, I'm sitting in the mix of full sedition right now. But I'll let that go. I'll let that go. But this is what I said earlier, Mr. So. Mr. Caucus, that statement he made, okay? What if he comes around? Say, I'm your brother-in-law. What do you do when you go to your brother-in-law place? Don't they offer to slaughter chicken? Don't they offer? What if he start taking that route? What will you say? Will you want to say because he says slaughter chicken, that means he want to kill Grangidians? Is that what you? Is that the implication? No.
I want you to have honorable
chance. Professor, if he comes to Grangidian, what's that statement you made? What you mean? Then he explain himself. That's how you get the dialogue going. We're not going back to civil war. And let them forget it.
We don't even want that. Nobody even wants
it's on. And I'm here now demonstrating to you, Sedisha, that you only have 6 years after that you're done. We said thank you, we'll clap for you, and you're out. That's it. So go ahead, Mr. So.
Yeah, and I own a point here before I get to the guys, because I was very much impressed with some of the young folk who stood their ground. Who are a member of the opposition column, but like we're supposed to have them here at some point in time. Mr. Say and the other people said, no, we have the right to be here. It is our political. You saw the video, but I was quite appalled to see some of these people who are real actors, and some of them were making ridiculous statements that Granjida, in fact, it's not significant. Granjida does not have the vote. So what the heck if Granjida does not have the vote? And you have people there. This is how people endanger people unknowingly. These politicians and these advocates, we need to hold them to responsible. They need to be mature. If you're wearing a diaper, don't be a politician. Okay? Let me see here. I'm not sure whether this call is for me from Liberia here. If you, but let me have Mr. Johnson to respond before I can pick up this call here. I'm not sure whether it is for me. Mr. Johnson, go ahead.
Are you speaking to me, sir?
Yeah.
Respond to what he just said, what Mr. Tool just said?
Yes.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, when you look at the situation, the thing that went on in Zedri the other day, I mean, you can have it both ways, and the Gregorians stood for what they thought they believe in, what they think they believe in, but not allowing Mr. Yeke to appear.
Okay. Go ahead. Let me go ahead. I think Honorable Grant is calling. Go ahead.
All right, the Gregorians stood the ground by not allowing Mr. Yeke to come in the pulpit to talk to them because of certain reason that he was so rude and aggressive, insulting the president.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, as I said, I mean, we can have it two ways. The reason that because the Gregorians believe in where they thought that Mr. Yeke wasn't supposed to talk in Granjida County. They thought that he was so abusive and he's keep insulting the president. Believe that they believe in the president so much and this and that. So they felt to themselves, you know, we don't want you here and this and that. But with my opinion, my view, I think democracy should be exist in every part of Liberia in every way. You know, they should have given the time to say what you want to say. I stand with Granjidans as well. I stand with them who went in the street to protest. Everyone has a right to do what they want to do according to the law. You know, but I mean, they should have proper investigation to know what really went on and how this thing went, who orchestrated for the people who were going in the street. But Mr. Yeke too as well. When I listen to some of the video recording, he insulted Granjidans as well. I'm not a fan of him, as I say all the time. And by insulting us, by saying that I'm going outside to slaughter, them like chicken, it was totally ungood, totally wrong for him to say. You know what I mean? You cannot come to your father-in-law house. That's why you're angry. That's why what happened, and you use those expressions. It was totally against the. It was totally wrong for him to do. You cannot insult the people. If I were there myself, probably it would be something different. But you insulting us, telling us that I'm coming outside to slaughter chicken. If I were there, I would do the same what the guys did on the street. But I do support every Democrat. He has the right to go into Granjida and say what you want to say, march in the street of Granjida, but so long they are not influencing the people's rights.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Mr. Guillaume?
Yeah,
Did you see any chicken or hand flowing around here? Okay, folks, my special guest is here with me. Let me just bring in the Honorable Ellis Chesia Grant. Honorable, can you position your phone so that my viewer will see you? Ellis Chesia Grant is the Legislative Caucus of the Grand Unit Association. Going to be going on with me. I want you guys to listen, and then and at some point in time, I'm going to bring you in here. And Professor, you want to make a quick statement before I bring in my guest, special guest?
Let me give the honor to the honorable man first, and then we can come back later on. We have to show respect for our leaders.
Okay. Honorable, can you unmute your microphone? Honorable Grant. Your microphone is, you got to check your microphone. Your microphone is, your mic is not open. Okay, let me see what I can get here in the hey mic. The mic is not open, so we need to and there's no way. Check your microphone, please. Honorable Grant, check your microphone. Okay.
Is it open now?
Yeah, it's open now. Okay, well, folks, I'm gonna keep you guys in the backyard of the studio here. Let me just bring this guy who held a major press conference and let my people know exactly what's happening here. So let me just come here and bring in the folks here and see what we can have this here. I'm going to come back to get your reaction. Following that, then we'll go here. Okay, let's go here. Let Bamboo Divakola here this afternoon. Ellis Chesia Grant is the lawmaker of District Number 3, Grand Unit County. That is Boston District, my own district, and he is the chairman of the Legislative Caucus of the Grand Unit. Honorable meant no woman that meant. Honorable Tai, thank you for honoring our invitations and being here. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
Okay, great. Okay, yeah. let's get to this whole thing. It's so overwhelming in Liberia, in the USA, and the last time I checked, even in India, they are all talking about what is unfolding. Okay, there was a press statement. There was a press conference on the part of the honorable member of the House of Representatives from both houses from Grand Unit. What can you tell us the up-to-speed development with respect to that political drama that unfolded in the provincial state of Zouadrou?
Well, thank you. Good evening to everybody. Good evening to all Grandians and Liberians. Honor my voice. And those who are not even Liberians, honor my voice. I'm glad to be here. You know, it's also a pleasant duty always for me to speak to my people, especially those in the diaspora, and thanks to the internet too, for making everything possible today that we are able to communicate in spite of the geographical differences and distances that we have. We are able to overcome all those hurdles. Yes, the situation that happened in Zouadrou was something very unpleasant and intensely disheartening, but we're able to ensure that the peace have returned to Zouadrou City, and everyone is like we received a lot of commendation for the prompt response and the press statement that we issued, because it really saved the face of Grand Judah, and we spoke from our hearts to ensure that people are aware that we do not support violence, that we are not people who are only known for violence, but we are peaceful people living in this country, living in accordance with the laws of the land.
Okay, let me just, Honorable, and please excuse me, whatever language you're going to be using here. Let me just tell people here, this platform is not like any other platform. You just come and make ridiculous statement that you cannot confirm. Makoya, Sont, or whatever name. If you come here, if you don't want to have a discussion here to disagree with people and begin to put everybody into a group, all of the 16 tribes in that country for you to write that the Crown people like war or whatever, that's stupid. And because of that, you don't want to listen to intellectual discussions. I gotta let you go. If you come here, if you're not circumcised, do not come on this network. There are certain things I don't take here. If you can disagree with people, so I'll have to let you go. Since the Crown people like war, this is I will tell you I'm a Crown man. I can tell you that I disagree with you. But for you to pull everybody into that is stupid. And if you tell you can grow big, then you come back on this network. Thank you very much. Let me come back to you here. This thing that happened, was it done in isolation? Honorable?
I think it's a spontaneous and isolated incident. because it's not what, from every indication I have done extensive background investigation, it's much spontaneous, it's an isolated incident, and some of the young people who were involved are beginning to regret their actions, and I can assure you it's not going to be repeated, not on our watch. Not on our watch. It's an isolated incident, because if you realize that apart from Zwedru,
I
there
will
was
find it difficult.
nothing.
The opposition will find it, Honorable. The opposition will find it difficult to believe. Some of these comments, ridiculous comment of not allowing Honorable Koluba in Grangida because of his insult. I don't agree with his insult. The opposition, the government, I find it difficult dealing with you people because everybody doing the same thing. But
And that's why we step up to the plate. That's why we step up to the plate. That's why we step up to the movement to ensure that these things are curbed. You can, I mean, they travel from Maryland all the way coming only in Zwedru, and not even in the whole of Zwedru. It was just in a minute part of Zwedru, and the situation had been clouded the whole county. Okay, so from Zwedru up to neighbor border, they stop in Town for information that I got, and they had a small meeting there. They weren't disturbed. So it's something isolated.
So
it's
then
an isolated incident.
why Zwedru? That's the $1 million question.
But that is the problem. Zwedru is a conglomeration of people from diverse backgrounds. It's not only Grangidians that reside in Zwedru. And that's why we keep saying young people, and we're not specific to say Grangidians, because it's not entirely Grangidians. There are a lot of young people. There are a lot of people living in Zwedru, but we don't want to be critical of the fact that it happened in our city, and we are not providing any justification for the incident. The fact that it happened in Grangida County, we take serious exception. We feel that that was something calculated to defame the image of our county. So I mean, clearly speaking, we do not embrace it in any manner or form. We do not. Okay, it's something that we've lashed out, and we continue to lash at it until the information dissipates from the internet. But the real thing is, Grangidian as the most peaceful people you can find in Liberia. We don't look for people. We don't hunt people. We don't chase people because of who you are. What happened was a spontaneous and isolated incident. Let the world hear this. Let the words go forth. Grangidians are peaceful people. More to that, to even say you don't want Yeke Koluba in Grangida is unfortunate, because Yeke Koluba is married to a Grangidian woman, the daughter of the late Honorable George or Esdwe.
Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Speaker of the House, and he is our in-law. That's why I even made several attempts to get on the station while the incident was on, but thankfully the issue was resolved quickly, and I mean the people returned to Monrovia unharmed. Okay, I agree, and there is no way I can polish that the incident was not good. It's unacceptable. It was completely miscalculated. In fact, it should not even cross their minds.
So I am wondering here, and I listened to our own national correspondent, Abu Turit, cover that from 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I was all awake, and they were covering that. And Honorable Koluba made a specific accusation. You guys are 5 members of the House, 3 members, and 2 in the Senate. Nobody name was called besides Honorable Zoe Emmanuel Pennon, that this was, according to him, it was orchestrated, it was planned by Zoe Emmanuel Pennon and that of the superintendent. Is that concerning?
But with the issue of Zoe is the political statement, because I know Zoe is going to elections, and then the opposition know that he's the weight. So obviously they will develop stories that will try to take away from him for the election. And the superintendent, I don't see why the superintendent wants his county to be unstable, simply because I cannot comprehend, I can't fathom that the superintendent will sit and plan evil against political leaders of this country. I'm not convinced. Yes, we are still doing our background investigations, and I cannot be so hasty to point accusing finger. But the issue of Honorable Pennon being accused is understandable. We are in a political era, so they're definitely going to do things. You should also know the opposition are featuring candidates, and the candidates they are featuring are people who are less influential and powerful compared to Honorable Pennon. So that is natural. I expected that. Why did he mention my name? Am I not part? Maybe, but that's actually the story that I want to flag out. The accusation on Honorable Pennon There's a political accusation from the opposition, and the fact that he's leaving for the first time in his political history, leaving the issue of independent candidate to join the mighty coalition for democratic change. So
You
it's
came
a
on my
serious
Honorable Grant, you came on my network here. You were the first lawmaker that endorsed Senator, not Senator, Representative
yes,
Zoe.
you're right. Senator in the making.
Yeah, okay, well, all right, Senator in the making. Representative
Yes.
Zoe Emmanuel Peno.
Yes.
You dragging to city, you talking to the coalition?
I will have no regret to bring any powerful force over to my political conglomeration where we can, get people in the legislature to push our development agenda. So yes, I brought Honorable Pennon to the CDC. And the one thing I need to tell people that probably they didn't understand, during the formation of the Liberia Democratic Party, LPDP, Honorable Pennon was one of the founding members. And so coming over is the actualizing a dream that he has laid many years ago. So his coming is like final homecoming. And that's why you saw in Zwedru yesterday that he was overwhelmingly supported and he got a very white ballot, a clean white sheet given to him.
That's a different ball game. Yeah, that's a different ball game. You politician, you're quick to get people off track here. Let me focus on the issue here. The representative car was vandalized. I interviewed the superintendent after our arbitrary and other media news outlets I coverage. The same day, after 8 hours, I interviewed the superintendent here, and I was asking if anyone was apprehended, anyone was arrested. The superintendent categorically told me, not yet. Investigation. So, you are the chairman of the caucus. Let me ask you, since then, have anyone been held by security forces that is directly or indirectly or person of interest that is currently in custody relative to vandalizing the honorable maker?
Okay, regarding that, the issue of car spoiling or vandalizing the honorable man's car has not really been brought to the fore. It's something myself I've been doing investigation. I've spoken to the superintendent, and the superintendent told me, as far as you know, no one's vehicle. Oh wow! They say Liberia, the current is off, and I'll be using the phone at the same time. Don't worry, I will come back home. Don't worry, I'm in darkness, but we can still speak.
Yeah, so, y'all made the current to kind of bro.
That's what we are doing. There are many treaties we are sounding to ensure that we have electricity and have it so shortly. Yes, so the issue of the vandalizing the opposition leader's vehicle, the superintendent told me nothing. He has not got any clear information. People may have been saying it, but he didn't see any vehicle being vandalized. So maybe something I've got a Moravia. If they can put it on radio, let's see which part of the vehicle was vandalized. Not radio or television whatsoever. So I cannot be so forthright or outright to indicate that yes, the vehicle was vandalized or it wasn't vandalized. I said it in our press statement again. I need to be sure of whatever I'm putting to the public because I represent people and what I say should be credible information that I'm releasing. On the issue of arresting people, the county police commander told me they are making extensive search to see. They are trying to identify some people, but he has not been able because
a good occurring is
what?
I say it's good occurring is back on now until you are visible. When you say searching, honorable, where are they searching? The doers were there. Those people that were involved in it. Searching
the incident ground, and honestly, even the president has spoken and additionally mandated that those people should be brought to book. And we're going to leave no stone unturned. We are doing as much as possible. Those people will be arrested. We are able to, because some names have been mentioned, and those persons are being.
Who are those?
I can't just mention that now. You don't know who is connected to who. You don't know how information travel. So when you're providing intelligence, you don't just make clear pronouncement like that of who name is a. You see, that was one of the mistakes. Mr. Comey made some pronouncement. He mentioned names. So if we were on the lookout for those people, you mentioned a name. Definitely, that is a highly dense forest. you then make people to probably escape justice, but it's something that we're going to carefully do and trace people maybe from wherever they may have been. We are working. This is a national security situation. We will ensure to put it under control.
Is that a statement of political correctness you are making here?
Well, I don't know what you mean by political correctness, but this is the reality on the ground.
Now, is it true that the superintendent, from the press release that we saw yesterday, the superintendent is being called into to Monrovia? Is that true?
The superintendent has been summoned to Monrovia to assist with the investigation. There is a probe, so that is something clear. And even the president today have also said it, that if you love him, keep the peace. Do none vandalize anything or don't attack anybody. If you love him, all you can do is the ballot box.
So who is actually sending for the superintendent? Is that a house of the House of Parliament, both houses? Will he be appearing before the House to provide?
No, that's with the Internal Affairs and Ministry of Justice are responsible for that, because those are people working in the executive. We can only invite them where the need really actually exists, but we're not going to jump over his supervisors to bring him to the House unless they come up with results, and the result is now completely, and we need to go extra mile to investigate, then we can do that. But it's systematic.
But do you have intention as chairman of the caucus, all of this whole scenario, all of this whole Pambata, Kesawali, and all of these things mixed up now into one pot here? It happens in your county. You are the chairman of the caucus. Do you have, if he comes to Monrovia, do you have interest to talk to the superintendent as well, to do your own fact finding to get a little details?
We will speak to him. We will speak to him, like, to gather preliminary information. But the results of the probe from the executive will either give us the courage to continue, or if the result is, let's say, something that is very clear that we don't need to make any further interrogation, then no need. But it's, I mean, we've been talking to him, and when he comes to Monrovia, the findings from the investigation they're going to conduct will inform our basics for either further investigation, or we defer that investigation based on facts or result from the investigation.
To save the image of your county, Mr. Chair, Honorable Grant, will you call for independence, or will you call for the inclusions of independence? Well, what the Ministry of Internal Affairs are going to be doing? Because it is the government. He works for the government. That is the established right, and that's the thing. The government going to do the investigations. So people out there will be scratching their hair. What would be the independence of this? The outcome of this investigation? Do you intend? Will they include independent folks outside of government for transparency's sake?
Yes. What we actually intend to do, like I just told you, the number one thing is, let's wait. Because if what they're investigating, we're investigating, it'll be they're putting the men in double jeopardy. So what we're going to do, give them a chance. The result, we'll look at it. If it doesn't show independence, then of course we have something that we can present to people. Look, this is the report that we received from the executive. We are not satisfied with the way, the form and manner the investigation was conducted. Take this report as a basis for your further investigation. Then we can do that. But we should allow them to do their independent investigation without interference from us. We have oversight. Afterwards, they're going to share the report with us. Then, based on that report, we have a place to start.
Have you spoken with the superintendent since then?
Repeatedly, I've spoken to him.
What is he telling you?
He's also investigating in the county, so that you know what to say and report. Because he wasn't in Zwedru when the team arrived. He was in Konabo. He has arrived at only 4 a.m. in the morning, and he was asleep on the situation.
Let me see here. Let me see if I can play the excerpts of that here just to validate my argument here.
Yeah.
Listen to all of callers, I listen to all of social media who are posting that cover the time when Yeke was trying to make his tours, will also sell some air or were less allegation made against me. That I said it on public radio. We will challenge each and every one to bring evidence of that. That I asked Yeke not to come to ground. That we of course will fight for the truth. Against, as I said again, we are waiting for the city to do that job. We don't own the West sense in making that report. We don't want to give them the time frame. They have their own time frame. They go to as fast as soon as possible. We plead with them to make sure they have that event done as soon as possible to give us. And as soon as fund is made, we'll let the populace know.
We let the public know. The armored vehicle was vandalized. No culprit and nobody was apprehended. That's the weird thing about it. So nobody, no suspect at all.
Again, I will not speak to that issue where a vehicle being vandalized, because when I was at the premises or where they were stopping at B2 or guest house, there's no evidence. I've not seen the vehicle. I've never seen a vehicle damage. Probably it may be damaged. I don't know. I still to be corrected, but I was not on the same how the vehicle damaged. What part of the vehicles are damaged? I said again, we are waiting for the report of the security people. As soon as the report comes, we will speak to that report. But the issue of the vehicle being damaged, where the part of the vehicle I got damaged, we don't know. And I don't want to speak to somebody that I don't know about. I can get a report from the security. We're against to condemn the actions of some of our citizens, to condemn the action. We are government, we should be about it, we should be there in the position to protect life and property. So we condemn the action that send a appeal today. The lawmakers, our lawmakers also have the press conference today, also condemn that. So as a local authority, we speak to all the social media, the radio stations, our locals, and other ERBs, our national radio, other people condemn the act. And we stand that as councils also condemn the act.
Are you saying any opposition moving forward, are they welcoming Grandjide, including even Yeke Kaluba, if he intends to go back there?
Precisely, we are. Yeah, that is the of Liberia. We are not against opposition. Opposition are all Liberians, and we'll make sure that we protect Liberians. On the quarterback, that is the of Liberia. He is a Liberian, and we also give a view. So what happened today, we said we read the incident, and the head of the country to apologize on behalf of our citizens.
The actions, are they supporters of the ruling party? Were they the ones that respected this, the rally today? Okay. Honorable, are you there?
I'm listening with interest.
Okay. You are hearing that good?
I heard him, and he has not said anything that contradicts me.
Yeah, that's not even my question. I just wanted to hear. I just wanted to give you the clear versions of our. Okay, so let me just conclude it so that they will give you a fair chance to also explain yourself. Okay, let's go back here.
I cannot speak that because nobody have the parties, local or the parties and or T-shirt to say, yeah, they are parties, they are angry, or citizens. We will speak to that, they are angry citizens. Whether they are from the Liberty Party, whether they are from the Unity Party, whether they are from the Unity Party, we don't know, but they are angry citizens of Grandjide County.
When you say angry citizens, what was the basis of them being angry?
From the security, and we'll let you know in the next couple of days.
So personally, do you think it is the insult or the manner in which Yeke Kaluba talks about the president? Do you think is that what they were responding to?
Well, again, I said we are waiting for the funding from the security. That will in the next couple of days will let you know what the fundings are.
That seems to be yes to my question.
Can I say yes? I cannot say no to your questions. I don't know what the angry citizen, where the anger came from. And I'm saying we are waiting for the investigation from the security. Whatever information we get, we'll let you know in a couple of days.
Our correspondent were also all saying, Honorable Superintendent, and they said you were one of the persons that asked the lawmaker to leave the country because it was unsafe. Is that true?
What information is from there too? I just made the clarity to you what our conversation started and how they ended. So anybody think that has here give that method of instruction to our citizen, let them produce the evidence.
Okay. All right. That's the voice of Honorable Superintendent of Grandjide. Okay. Keeping the news proportional. This is we don't make judgment yet. When it happens, we go to it. Are you impressed with what the superintendent was saying?
Well, he made clear his point, and when he spoke from the side, his angle of view. So it's not whether I'm impressed or I'm not impressed. He has made his point clear, and I think as accepted as he said it.
Our correspondent, Mr. Toure, was on Saint. The picture was showing. The video is out there. Kaluba's car was vandalized.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Has the superintendent told you that?
What? The superintendent just indicated clearly that he has not seen any vehicle or such And it's not. It's, I mean, it's not a makeup. It's a reality. What I don't know, I can't speak about.
What going to be the outcome of this year? Should we or the ordinary Liberian people that are listening now, what's going to be the outcome? Because we have seen, and the reason I'm asking all of these questions, from time to time, we will see investigation over the investigation. The conclusiveness of the investigations that have been the problem. By the time Liberia to USA, all over the world, the drama is ongoing. I wouldn't be surprised by in the next 2-3 days again, another drama will take place somewhere, someplace there, and it will be gone. We will come to a comprehensive conclusions of this investigation, and that somebody, somewhere, someplace will be held responsible?
That's my utmost expectation. People must account for what is entrusted to them. People must account or be responsible for whatsoever action that they took, and that's why we're outright in saying it and seeing it categorically clear. That's why we sounded the caveat that all those responsible for such behavior must be brought to book. We are committed to that, and we hope in the next few days we'll have something, reported. We are committed to that.
Have you spoken with your colleague? He is also a member of the lower house. I'm talking about Honorable Koluba. Since his return, have you had a conversation or telephone or whatever? Have you met him personally?
I tried calling him. He couldn't pick up. I don't know why.
Is he doing it?
I will see him on Capitol Hill tomorrow.
Do you think it's on purpose?
Well, I can't speak for that. I don't know. Probably he could say he didn't see my call, or I don't know what he's going to say. I can't preempt what he will say, but I don't want to say it's on purpose. Probably he's too much engaged. I'm going to engage him tomorrow. We will be on Capitol Hill. We'll be returning from our independence break. If he's not seeing tomorrow, he should be in section on Tuesday, and then we can talk about that.
You are the chairman of the caucus. You call him, he did not pick up, and probably he didn't see you. To go further step, do you think you're looking for paying a courtesy call on him and telling the hey, colleague, I am the chairman of the caucus. I'm doing everything possible to have this investigation concluded. Will you pay him a courtesy call?
I think by Wednesday I'll do my best. If he's not seeing those 2 days on Capitol Hill, then I have to make it a duty to visit him, to register that. But he's already aware that we stood up against that, and that's why he had never been able to say anything to the contrary about me. But I can understand. I will by Wednesday I will do that. If you don't mind, on the weekend again we can have a talk to get you feedback on my conversation with the honorable man.
I will be glad to with it. If your party is worried, considering what is unfolding now, Grangida County, your county, my county, consistently from Helen Johnson salute time to that of Dr. Doe or Dr. Weir's time, has voted for them overwhelmingly. Are they now thinking, or are they unsure that if that county were to flip to the side of the oppositions, that could be a problem in 2023? Is that what you guys worrying about?
I don't think that way. I really don't think that way, because I know 2023 is victory setting, because we are performing and we intend to do more. We intend to do more between now and the 2023 elections. So we are on course. It's just that after transition, especially in the political situation or political era, it takes time to get adjusted. And then because it takes time to get adjusted, we have to pick up pace. And I think we are well on course. From the local things, we are well on course and moving steadily and progressively. So by that time, we'll have what we need, what it takes to have a second term.
What it takes to have a second term. CDC, the ruling establishment, Honorable Zoe Emmanuel Pennon for years has been independent. Was it that the CDC, the coalition, could not find any candidate, potential candidate, to be a challenger? Is that what that strategic political decision was made to bring Honorable Zoe Emmanuel Pennon to the ruling establishment?
I hope you understood from the initial point when I told you Zoe is a founding member of the Liberal People Democratic Party, LPDP. So coming to CDC is just the correlation. It's just a realization of someone coming home. It's like it's not the story of prodigal son exactly, but it's the coming home.
Is he welcome?
Very much, and that's why we gave him the white ballot.
Now, for the benefit of our listening audience, can you to vehemently say here that the scenario that happens? Yesterday we break here a close source to Coluba told me that Honorable Coluba will be returning to Grand Jide, and it's been already announced that Coluba going to be returned to Grand Jide. Will we see this, or will never again such a scenario unfold in the county? Is that you want to promise us here as chair of the Caucus?
Our people are understanding people. We spoke on and they've heard it. And like I said, Honorable Coluba is always welcome. If he has capacity or space on a car, I could even escort him to reassure him that he's the most welcome to the home of his in-laws.
Okay, I'm going to bring my teams of analysts and folks that are standing by. Professor Alphonso Zawolo is based in Washington area. Mr. Roosevelt Johnson Jr. is based in UK. The Liberal Progressive Santo is in Sacramento. Mr. Fred Taluguino is in Philadelphia. Best of all team here, inciting here. Let me bring these guys on. They have been following the conversation. The Liberal, you fold in your hand. Look, we are not in a funeral home here. Come on. Okay? This is not a funeral. We are talking national issue here, okay? Let me just bring you in here. You listen to Honorable Ellis Chesia Grant of Boston District, who is chair of the caucus. Do you have a question for him? Check your microphone, Liberal.
Good day, everyone, and welcome on board.
Samson, check your microphone.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you.
Samson, you coming. Samson, you see, these liberal people, that's why sometimes it's a pain in the neck when you bring this. The guy is old and he still wants to be like a young man. He's talking, I'm not hearing him. Let me go to Professor Zawolo here. Fred, you wanted to come in first?
Yeah, I was just saying hi to him, but yeah, I can come in. I want to say thank you, Honorable Grant. How you doing? This is Fred Guian.
I know, ready?
Yeah, I want to say thank you for even taking the time to come and talk to us.
Thank you.
And for the stand, the caucus told, I think it was in the right direction. Again, we are not saying that people cannot demonstrate in Israel. They don't have the right to protest, but you can do what it did. You can vandalize, you can assault, and you can drive people out of the county. Because you, Mr. Grant, you are part of the coalition. The party could need you to go to some other county to go run campaign, especially during national elections, and you don't want to be chased out of there because of what happened to Yeke Kaluba and why his output and whatever he says in Montreal are not too good to the ears, and that's his style of politics. But yet and still, we believe in the free movement of people, and that's what CDC stands for. And we that are citizens, we will always preach that, and that because that's what we want to happen in Liberia. So hopefully, I listened to the superintendent and it's the way the answers he gave. We are also hoping that he'll conduct his own investigation in the county. While the government is coming in, he can conduct his own investigation to know, not to penalize anyone, but to know so that this thing cannot happen anymore. Because there will be a lot of people coming to the county, especially with the senatorial election coming. There are other people that want to come to other political parties that want to come and campaign for their candidate in the county, and we can't have those situations where people will be chasing the air.
I'm ready.
Yeah, So, thank you for coming to us and explaining this afternoon.
Okay,
thank you.
So all right. Let me go to the paper. When I try, he say he old man. The stamina we get, he not get it. He still not want to retire. You will learn it.
So I'm only 25 years old. Honorable, as I was saying, the fact that my mic was muted, it has nothing to do with age. It has to do with getting too old. But that's fine. Honorable, like I was saying. Even though I'm older than you, but you as my representative and the honorable from Boston District, you are the father of all of us. And as such, we respect you and revere you whenever you get in public. Now, another point that I was making, apparently people didn't hear, this is the reason why I think CDC only has 6 years. The honorable member of CDC was speaking and the light went out. Is there something we're going to give you a 12 years for you to put a lie again? Ain't happening. After 6 years, we clap for you. We say thank you. We'll bring somebody who will get our life. Now let's talk on a serious business.
No, just quick correction. That quick correction. Just to let you know that my technicians or maintenance man was switching from my
Mr. Honorable. I'm not gonna take it. I got you guys. By the next, I'm gonna squeeze it. I'm not gonna let it go. I'm not taking it. CDC, LPR, that's the headline for me. No, but on a very serious note. I'm disappointed in your explanation you gave here, to be honest with you. Okay. Someone who is the chairman of a Grand Jury Legislative Caucus to come out to say that up to this point you have not engaged Honorable Caliber. I'm disappointed. Up to this time that you have not been able to somehow ascertain the damage to Honorable Caliber's car. I'm disappointed. And up to this point, to say that the Honorable Alexander comment he made was in haste. The man's life was under threat. They all were scared. They wanted to survive. So he's going to say whatever he wants to say. It is you, the father of our county, to say, no, we are not like that. And these people must be brought to you, or you go to them and show who we are. We are a peaceful people. But to come here now to say these things are being under investigation and giving us all of these legalistic turn, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. And I think this is not us. And I know you know that, because when people listen to you, just from the sound of your voice, they know that you're a peaceful person. You're not a violent person. Okay? So I'm just saying this.
I'm not getting any point or thing from you. The volume has decreased so badly.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Can you hear me now, I hope?
I'm not getting anything.
Okay. All right. That I'm sure Mr.
Volume.
Not audible.
Yeah, I'm getting you loud and clear. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
The volume is so bad.
Can come in. So from this perspective,
you want to go off and come in?
This would be the platform that perhaps you as a representative will use to engage. He's also your colleague. What if this thing had happened to you in Lofa County, in any other county? Should we Nigerians be quiet? No, we will be all over this place. So I think you guys, it's not late yet. You guys, the representative of Grand Jury County, do all you can to engage Honorable Caliber. I know the issue with the president and Caliber, those are issues that's in-house. You guys can deal with that. But this is affecting your children, sir. It's affecting your children. So please represent us and be the father as you are. Thank you very much, Mr. So.
Wow. Was I the one that muted your microphone first?
Mr. So, I would suspect that.
Honorable Grant, are you there? Okay, I think let me get him off and then he can come back here hopefully here. Okay. Hopefully our national correspondent will join her yet. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Grant, yeah, he will be coming back. You listen to the honorable man, the sessions of the thing that for that. What's your take?
Well, to be honest with you, some of the issues, some of the concerns and the issues he raised, I was kind of a little bit baffled with them regarding where Mr. Toro said that up to this time, though we are I'm permanent member of the CDC government, I'm part of I'm a citizen as well, but up to this time, as a member of the House, he haven't gotten back to his one of his colleagues who's in the House. He should be the first one as representing District 3 to make sure, do everything in his power to make sure he get to Yeke and say, listen, we are sorry for what happens. This is not going to happen again, and ensuring that he can go back to the county. But seeing that he called 1 or 2 different times, they didn't get him after this happened. He should make everything possible, even drive to the house to get in touch with him, to talk to him, listen, just the good name of a Grand Jury, just to pursue the good name of our people. Not to sit back and say, oh, I tried to call him, I didn't call him. So you know what happened? I'm going to meet in the house Monday or Tuesday. I don't think it's a fair thing. I don't think that's a good thing. He should do everything in his power to make sure that he get Honorable Yeke and talk to him. That this not going to happen again. He said, welcome back to Granger. You shouldn't wait until when? And Tuesday or Monday to go back to the house. I don't think it's right. You know, and I hope that according to what he just said, they carry on all investigations to make sure this does not happen back in the Zulu whiskey. Because Grangians are very peaceful people, and we're not going to condone that any time in our country.
Professor Zawula?
Yeah. I disagree with both Mr. Johnson and Mr. Toole. I think the honorable man, I think he acted correctly. The legislative caucus, I think, came out with a statement. They've condemned it. I wouldn't have condemned it the way they did it, but they condemned it. They have all rights to do that. He placed several calls to to Honorable Kuluba. And Honorable Kuluba has now returned his call. When did this incident take place? I think this incident took place, was it Friday or what? Saturday? Thursday. I don't know when did they get back to Monrovia. We got to take that into consideration. When did they get back from Zwerby to Monrovia? I mean, was there sufficient time for him to pay him a visit? Now, when it comes to the idea of paying him a visit and all of those things, we can say yes, he could have done it, if you know. But was it something that he needed to do? I don't think he needed to do so. I think he did what he had to do, was to place several calls. Visiting would have added, maybe would have added more value, but he did what he was supposed to do. He placed several calls. Now, another thing, I think I happen to be the only non-Grangian here, and I understand the situation Grangians find themselves in is the same situations that we from Nimba also find ourselves. My parents come from Nimba. I normally go by with my place where I was raised, Margibi. But I do understand how Grangians and Nimbayans are always, blamed for things that happen in Liberia. So I understand your trepidations, your concerns about, Grangian not, you want Grangians to be very outspoken and condemn this thing. I do get it. But again, like I indicated here, there were protocols that were not observed. So this investigation should not be one way. I think I want to invite Honorable Alex Cummings, as chair for the CPP, to also initiate an investigation on how they plan their trips. What level of engagement should they have with the leaders in those places that they are going? I think that's very important. Did they do that? Did they not do it? By not doing it, they didn't present them in a difficult situation. Also, we are taking into consideration the behavior of some of the people around us. Now, when Superintendent Farley went in and he's trying to calm situation, the speech, the tone, the message that we are sending out there, and people are all in there with cell phones and they're doing live and stuff like that, can inflame the situation. So you can't just put all the blame on the young people. You also put blame. Look, Honorable Yeke Koluba, he's a representative, and let's face it, his behavior has not been exemplary. Standing on the top of the vehicle, standing in the middle of the street, in there making ridiculous statements when people are out there trying to de-escalate the situation, I think those are concerning, and we need to talk about these things. That's what I said. Look, it's unfortunate that this thing happened, but on the other end, I think it's better that it happened now than happening in November or December, right before the elections. So now what do we need to do? We need to have a kind of national discourse. I believe the House of Representatives should convene, should discuss this issue. I think it's important that they discuss this issue. I think it's important the House of Representatives organize a special committee to investigate what transpired, so that we can prevent these things from happening as we get closer and closer to December 8th.
Okay, my team is standing by here. Let me just bring here. We're going to take a quick commercial break here, and we'll be right back. Our national correspondent, Mike Dan, is joining this forum here, and I'm Alphonso Zean of the Liberia Popular Radio. I'll be right back.
The search for honest answers in the Zwedru saga involving Representative Yeka Kaluba and Alexander Benedict is taking more critical conversation on the diaspora informative news network Public Radio. Grand Jita Legislative Caucus condemned the incident. Now Caucus Chair Alex C. Grant will be appearing live on LPR with Alphonso Zean. In addition, we will be getting dissenting views from Grand Gedians and non-Grand Gedians. Join me live in today's edition of Freedom Watch on LPR TV.
Okay, I am Alphonso Zean of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Let me see yet what the Honorable Man Alex Garcia Grant is back with us. Fred Taloguyon is here. Our national correspondent Mike Dan, who also cover extensively the happenings in Zwedru, is also joining us here from his studio in Monrovia. What a basic evening here with us here. Mr. Grant, are you guys hearing me? Are you guys hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm somebody. I think
I'm hearing you.
Honorable Grant, are you hearing me? Mr. Johnson, are you hearing me?
Yes, I got you.
Okay. I think Honorable Grant, I believe he's driving. Mike Dan, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm getting loud and clear, Alfonso. I'm hearing loud and clear.
Okay, yeah, I think Mr. Grant was driving. Fred, your mic is muted. Okay, gentlemen, let me just bring in Mike Dan here. Mike Dan is currently, let me see. Let me just get Mike Dan on here. Okay, Mike Dan is based in Mean Studio in Monrovia. Mike, let me just bring you in here. This is quite interesting. You were on this story here from day one when it happens in Zwedru. It seems not to be going away.
Yes, certainly. It seems not to be getting away because His Excellency the President of Liberia has just spoken on this today. It was doing his regular church service.
Mike, let me just hold you there. Honorable Grant, are you hearing me?
Let me just.
Honorable Grant, are you
Yes, I think I'm hearing you now.
Okay, all right, good. And so, Mike, just hold on. Let's just get from.
Yes, I think I'm hearing you now.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah. I think was that Mr. Johnson? Was you the one was speaking when Mr. Grant went off?
Yes,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay, but I think Mr. Toll spoke already. Mr. Johnson, do you have anything to add to Mr. Grant?
Well, I would like to say, first of all, welcome to the Honorable Man, Honorable Grant, and I'm Roosevelt Johnson Jr. All right, I would just like what I was saying is that I was just saying that we got into what Mr. Toll was saying, that I was just putting a little bit hint on it that you should make sure you talk to Honorable Yeke regardless of what happened, whether you call it or not. You should have probably gone to your home because this thing is happening within Zwedru itself. But waiting until Tuesday or Monday before seeing, chairman of the Caucus, you should have done everything impossible to make sure you get to him and talk to him about it. Let him know that this we're not gonna happen in Angela, and in order to release the tension that is going on within Zwedru.
Okay.
Yes.
Whose phone is that?
Yeah, sure. Better late than never. Better late than never. We can still make amend. We are subject to error as human beings, but I think we better late than never.
Okay. Professor Douglas, do you have anything to say to the Honorable Man?
I think, first of all, let me thank the Honorable Grant for appearing. I think your appearance here indicates that you have given a lot of attention to this situation. And unlike what some of the other colleagues indicated, I think your actions were appropriate. And I just want to encourage you to continue to do some of the things that you said you're going to do. Yes, it would be good if you can visit Honorable Kluba prior to him, prior to you guys meeting at the legislature. But I think the actions are commendable for that.
Yep. So let me get Honorable Grant. I know it's kind of late now. It looks like you'll be on the way. We still need your service in Grand Juliet in Liberia. Let me give you the
Yep.
opportunity to respond a lot before our correspondent comes in.
Yes, now just making a quick comment on visiting Honorable Koluba, and I'm definitely going to do that. I just felt that he needed some time to rest, especially coming from that long tour. The Grand Gear was not the only stop. He had to go as far as Grand Crew, passing through Sandro and other places. So we do our rounds. Like you have advised, we are people who can listen to suggestions and advice. Definitely going to do that to ensure that Honorable Koluba sees us. And then we all, not only to stop at Honorable Koluba, we do our best to go. We will do our best to visit with Honorable Cummings as well. I mean, just to register how deeply sorry we are about the situation, and we can assure them it's never going to repeat. There's never going to be a recurrence of such situation.
All right.
So we're doing our best. We'll find out what the situation of the vehicle, and whoever that is involved will make sure that people will come. People will be, brought to book. That's what we can guarantee.
Okay. Let me bring in Mike down. Mike, are you ready?
Yes, I'm here. Alfonso, are you getting me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Let me bring in Mike down. He was the anger man during that incident, live career with our guy in Zuadu Abu Ture. Mike, bring her up to speed. You were just reporting. What is the official statement from the president from the executive mansion? What is he saying?
Well, this is exactly what President we are saying. If you love me and support me, refrain from violence. President Weah tells supporters this is exactly what the executive mansion has just posted on its website here in Liberia. And to just read a bit of it, President Weah has reiterated his rejection and destitution and distinction of detection of violence and unrest in Liberia. And actually, in short, President Weah has since described this act that took place in Zweju recently as undemocratic process. He's saying that he's also calling on the Ministry of Justice to immediately investigate those involved in the saga that led to the damaging of Yeka Koluba's vehicle. So President Weah made a statement today during his regular church service at his church, the Fokiklon church near Monrovia. So this is exactly what he's been saying. He's saying that the government of his government condemned such act that took place in Zoeju. So he's calling on the Ministry of Justice, the government arm that is clogged with investigating issue, to immediately launch an investigation into the saga that took place in Zoeju.
Okay. Just hold on 1 second here. Let me just see here. We're getting calls from other places here to see here. Okay. So why did he make that statement? Why so long?
Well, what can I say? What has happened actually? But
Yeah.
I think one may say the president has the right. The president detect the issue, what actually happened before or making statement. So I think it was the appropriate time that the presidency was waiting for before making an official statement. Though the statement was made at his church, and then that was picked up by his press and his press secretary, who then posted this on the executive mansion website. So again, one may say because the president was actually assessing the situation, so maybe probably this is what taking quite a bit longer for him to respond to what happened actually in Grand Jita County. But again,
Okay,
he's
Mike, hold on 1 second. Let me just get this reaction quick. Hello, caller, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. My name is Tommy, so I'm calling from Monrovia.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to make statement on the issue that happened in our county, Grand Jita. I want to condemn it in the strongest term. And every civilized Grand Jita should condemn the attitude that went on in Grand Jita. We should understand and know that Grand Jita is not a country within a country. That's a land, we live there, so, and the land is for government, we are there, let everybody enjoy it. And anybody that comes from Grand Jita and support that attitude, those are the darkness of that county, and do not want to see any progress of that county. Look, people should reflect and know where we came from. It happened before. The late Roosevelt Johnson was on Johnson Road, and they started doing a lot of things to that place there. Johnson was my personal friend from Freetown. I went to visit him, and I told him that, look, there's a plan to get you from that place there. Stop being boy from hijacking people have to break control within the country. And you know that even if you are president, nobody will allow you to do that. And at the end of the day, our innocent brothers and sisters were killed on that Johnson Road. They with the president. They say, why the Grand are taking this president? But they will say he's the only president for Liberia. No, they're not the only people that elected him. Grand Jita have the majority support that even if Grand Jita voted for him, you are not going to win. And people that there who want to get power at all costs, want to put the people of Grand Jita at risk, we're not going to allow that to happen again. Our people have suffered too long. 1990, we have only the Barry and the executive mansion. Today, we go to places, people cast together and say a whole lot of things. But why they put on that? In fact, as a matter of fact, what the benefit they are getting from this leadership or from the president? After the 2011 and 2005 election, he lost the election. He never went back to our people to say, oh, thank you, your day well, and what have you. The 2011, the same thing. The 2017, what the benefit the people are getting? What they are the only giant or hero in this country? And those who responsible for it, we are getting some information. Some of our lawmakers are inside. We will get to them. We'll make sure that what they want, and they're not going to gamble what people like for power, and we'll make sure that they will not get us into a position. But we are still doing our work and know. And those people need to be brought to book. They just quite a few minutes ago, the ERO and the Women Council in Monrovia had a meeting, and they're going to come up with their position statement. What I'm saying is my own personal view. It's not a view of anybody. It's my personal view. But those people must be held responsible for what they did, and nobody's going to put our life on the line again.
Okay. All right. That's my own big brother there. Mr. Tommy So is on the land. Tommy, are you still there?
I am here. I'm here.
This is quite astonishing. Never before to you have called on this network. Over 11 years we have been here. Calling today is
my junior brother is very good to me. This thing is embarrassing to Grand Jita. It is embarrassing to Grand Jita. Why they should do that? The people who get the president, they may want to grab all the places. Nobody get at him. Just few bunch of hooligan, they pay over there, and they could cause confusion. Some people are very civilized people. And those are people that go on the Facebook to say, hold on, that collective gift, you should try to erase it. Then one person will do something, you just get up and make statement. I saw something the other time about, oh, yeah, this is why they killed them, they should be deleted. You're able to get the people out of Liberia? No. We are Israel in Liberia. Let me repeat, we are Israel in Liberia. And when we are verifying this set of people, and not because of that, and people want to get to us, they will get a reaction to it. And we are prepared for anything. And all the other Nigerians who feel that without the president, let them do it their own way, but they should not include the country in other things. They are the only giant. They are the only giant. I mean, what else? What else? The president is present for the entire Liberia. But the president, I mean, this lawmakers stood right in Monrovia here and called the president. What the president had the power to go and arrest him, they didn't do it. People who supposed to arrest him, they didn't do it. They didn't go and cause confusion because somebody wanted to be a senator. We're not going to accept that. That's a complete nonsense. We're not going to accept that.
Okay. That's what we do. We don't sanction voices yet. This is a network. We allow people to express their views, their opinion, as long as it's not over the top. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, little brother. Just keep doing what you're doing and be very objective in your reporting.
Yeah.
I
Well,
appreciate that so much. Thank you.
wow. You big brother can't pay fine, but 11 years I've been having program here. You never calling in here today. It means something something proper.
I do not let you know because politics in Liberia is not a thing. Even at the Liberian radio station, I do not listen to them. But tomorrow, any radio station that opens.
Why you don't listen to them?
Yeah, because it's discouraging. Everyone in the country, nobody means good for this country. Let me be very clear. Nobody means good because this person we're talking about, his work massively by the people. If you are doing the right thing, nobody going to cause confusion. No, nobody going to listen to Yeke Koluba. Nobody going to listen to Costa. But they are not doing the right thing, and people are not saying it. And you know why? Politics is somebody who tells you the right thing. Yeke Koluba is trying to make you to understand that things are not going from, but you're not looking at it that way. Bill Clinton, when he was president, he always with the Republican.
But number insulting models.
My wrongdoing, not a Democrat. So if you're a leader of this nation and somebody is telling you something, you got to ask yourself, but what is going on? And you have people who we went to Seven, you were in Seven, we suffered too much. Nobody going to make God to live from the country again. Nobody going to live from the country. If the president is not doing the right thing, anybody get the right to say it. If you are doing the right thing, nobody will listen to Yeke Koluba. 14 out of 15 county voted this man.
Okay.
He can't pay back the people the good that they gave him, and people are suffering. People get money that we see people supposed to get from remitting up to today. That 4 or 5 people can't get that money. People get saving at the bank, they can't get that money. They know that something is going on wrong in this country. That's something they want to talk, and they want to talk that they are the only people, especially our people from Grand Guinea. They should behave. They're not animals.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Let me go back to the lines there. And we're going to also have a participation here. Thank you for calling in here. Okay, guys, are you there? Yeah. Oh, the line start busting here already. Let me go to the honorable. Honorable, do you have some time to interact with your people?
Well, yeah, we can take like 5 questions, and then the network keep fluctuating is what discouraging me.
Yeah,
so we can take few questions,
and
then we can just
okay. Let me pick up the first call here. Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, what's your name and where you calling from?
I'm Wilson S. Keba calling from
Connecticut. Go ahead. What's your point?
I'm Sharuk Asho.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, caller, hold on. There's somebody there. Yeah, go ahead. From Connecticut, then I'll go to DC.
I was supposed to have a very civil and honest discourse about. I concur with the Professor Arthur Aulu over there. This thing has brought us to the place where we should have a national discussion. You understand me? We should not look at just Grand Guinea. Grand Guinea are not the only people, or the youth of Grand Guinea, or the people that live in Zean are not the only people that are feeling bad about the way how our presidency is disrespected. You understand? If Grand Guinea, if the leaders of Grand Guinea see that they are peaceful people, they are loyal people, they are respectful people, they condemn Yeke Koluba. Yeke Koluba is not an honorable person. He sits in an honorable office. His attitudes he exhibits in our society is an attitude that we all, as peaceful, as disciplined, as respectful as we are, we should condemn it. We should condemn it to the fullest. When we talk about the issues, political issues should be discussed. Let us talk about the issues. If the government is not performing well, let us talk about it. But when you start to attack people personally, it becomes embarrassing. And lawmakers will instruct the president who has no authority to instruct the police deputies, whoever, to go and arrest him on the road. It means he's never instruct the president. You think it will go down well with me? I'm a selfish here. The day Yeke Koluba entered America and started coming and being a leader in my community, I would think to him, I don't want you here. That's my right. When Donald Trump was about to go to England, the people in the British Parliament said they don't want him in England because of his utterances. The people in the pool are not wrong. It's just that what happens when you have two people at the time fighting against, or protesting. They can call had little supporters there that went against the other supporters out there.
Okay, all right. Make your last point. Yeah, go ahead quickly for your last point. So we're bringing the other caller.
My last point. If we say protest, what was wrong for the people that don't feel strong? We don't want to over here. What was wrong? Nothing was wrong. Nothing was wrong. But they started it because we want to be politically correct. We want to maintain position. We eradicate the people who spoke widely. And we should be ashamed of ourselves. We cannot condemn the kind of insanity that happening in our nation, all of our country. We hear men sitting now on radio station insulting the honor or the private part of women. And we say that nice that politics.
Okay.
Wrong. We should be ashamed of ourselves as Nigerians and leaders in our country. I don't care where you're from.
All right.
To hear people speak that.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Let me go to this few callers and now we have the honorable to respond. 202, are you there? 202 number 5867. Are you there? Let's make it very brief and I'll go back to Honorable Grant. It's getting later.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, go ahead quickly. Yeah, go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Okay, how are you? What's your name?
My name is Bismarck.
Okay, Mr. Bismarck, welcome.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you guys for the forum. I think it's a very interesting forum you guys are having. It's good to see Liberians talking, coming together from different political backgrounds and talking. Well, I follow a lot of Liberian politics. I see previous callers were calling, and my first time on your show, I saw a lot of Liberians calling, and I read over the Yeke Koruba statement. I don't support Yeke Koruba. I think there's a better way to discuss your political grievances when you have it. However, I'm more disillusioned by Liberians going to bed without food to eat every day. I'm more disillusioned by the way the government is handling things in Liberia. Where when I in Liberia go out, I go to the entertainment place. I've seen lawmakers and people, ministers spending $1,000 a night at a Lebanese establishment. I'm disillusioned. Words that someone say that will cause an issue, and the issue that happened in Nigeria. If a lot of people
okay, let me hold on 1 second because I brought Mr. Grant here, who happens to be the Caucus chair, and he has made his case. Do you have a specific question for him? Because I want to make him to respond before he can. Do you have any question for him based on the information that he shared with us?
Well, I wasn't watching that part about the information. I just started watching your song maybe 5 minutes ago.
Okay, then just hold on. Don't go away. Just hold on. Let me ask the other folks. I want him to respond, so I can't just put him lay away. That's my honorable man. I don't want to be held in contempt because I'm coming for that election. 314 number 0461. Are you there?
Thank you, Mr. So this is Emmanuel Zaza, and I also want to say hi to my former instructor from the Jerry Multilateral High School, Honorable Jessica Grant.
All right, student in the class. Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Zaza.
I have a question for him. But before my question, I want to first speak my mind. To be very brief. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first thing I want to say is that I condemn violence in whatever form, whether verbally, whether physically, whether sexually, whether emotionally, or whatever we want to express it. When it is violent, I condemn it. But I also want to condemn everyone, regardless who you are, who condemn Nigerians for protesting the way they protested. They did the way they did because we encouraged them, especially my professor who is here, my older brother from Portland. He's one of those who encouraged this thing. And the reason I said, when you want to do baby from your house, people will sit there and insult. And they know that the more the children hear this thing, the more they're going to follow it. They feel that's the best way because people stood the president convoy, the students, on October 25, October 15, 2019. The house didn't say anything that the children right to do it. People burn street, article terrorists in the street. The house didn't do anything because that's a way book and article exercise their right. People blocked the entrance of the hospital. When other people want to go to the hospital because they want justice to be released, and people see that as a way book and protest. And the people sat there, all this thing happened. The other protesting, the way they want to protest because that's the one you supported. And you say the people are wrong, you condemn them, we should be ashamed of ourselves. This is my question. In September of 2018, the House of Representatives, the way my uncle, my own older brother is, they called Honorable Eugene Fagon and condemned him and sentenced him to jail and declared him a non-governmental material because he insulted, he went against the code of Yeke Koruba is above the code of conduct. This man is insulting in the street. They have never condemned him, and they want to condemn other people. Are the representatives in that house, are they above the law? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, hold on. Honorable Grant, you want me to all the question come, then you respond to them, or you want we can do it that way?
I will forget. I will forget some, but
Okay. You want to?
just to quickly let's continue with the question. I'll come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Alfonso,
Okay.
let me ask you a question. I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, Honorable Grant, the rumors going around in the county. I know you're recruiting people to join the coalition. Is it true that you are around or you talk to the electoral magistrate, Mr. Boji, to go meet with the president and Mr.
Mr. Gwen,
McCain?
you driving?
Because
Your
that's the
line
rumor
is
that's coming
disturbing.
out. I just want you to
We
elaborate on
can't
that.
hear you.
Fred, you driving? Your line
I
is
was. Oh, wait, now
yeah,
you're me. All right,
your line is bad.
It's gone.
Are you true?
Yeah, Ellis, are you there? Mr. Gwen, are you there?
Hello.
All right. Let me just see. Fred is in
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead. With much better. We're hearing you. Fred, go ahead.
No, I just want to ask him what are the rumor that are going around in Israel and that reaching us here concerning the electoral magistrate in Israel, Mr. Doji. Is it true that he and Mr. Pennon took Mr.
Yeah.
Doji to go meet with the president McCain? That's the question. I want you to elaborate on that.
Okay. Mr. Grant, are you there?
Can you want me to say that more? Yes.
Okay. Well, Mr.
Yes. Yes. Listen. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, we're hearing you. Go ahead.
Are you getting?
We're hearing
Okay.
you.
Good. The issue of going. Okay. The issue of taking Mr. Doji to the president. We went to celebrate the president's birthday last year, and he's our friend. So if we don't go to election, there's no election, doesn't mean that we are not friends. He's my childhood friend, and we've been together ever since the 80s. So I don't think I don't see anything wrong with us going to visit the president on a birthday. So
Okay.
yes, we went to the president, but we didn't go to say cheat for this or cheat for that. President doesn't have the capacity. Even the election commission does not have the capacity to cheat anyone in electoral period. But you know, we do not gracefully accept defeat when it comes to politics, because at the polls you have your observers. Every party, every candidate have 2 observers at every poll, and then you even have observer supervisor, so 3 at each polling center. So how possible can you say they cheated me, and when you are there you got your people who are supposed to observe election, but you know we don't gracefully accept defeat. So when people say those things, I just laugh them out. Okay, I just laugh them out because people will not accept it when you defeat them in elections, and they don't prepare themselves. They are going into the game, they don't understand the rules of the game. So it's it. If Arsenal, you ever say, even the European League when they play, somebody will say crowd foul that the ref cheated for Arsenal or cheated for all these funny things. So those are so political sad talk. We don't really listen to them. We're free to visit whoever we want to visit. He's been my friend from childhood. I cannot abandon him because
Just call by in a minute. I'll come and drop you.
magistrate.
Okay. All right. Look, I gotta getting the call here. Let me just see it. Let me make a commendation here. Okay. Okay. Let me see it. All right. Chairman Bali, are you there? Chairman Bali, are you there? Mr. Bali, are you there? Yes. I'm not understanding why it's Gary, are you hearing me?
Mr. So even the program itself trying to reject your plan of piling on sedition all over here this evening. Even the program itself trying to reject. You're bringing everybody on,
including you, the undercover citizen.
Yeah. Gary, are you there? Are you hearing me? Okay. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. Mr. Grant, you want to answer Mr. Zaza question?
Okay, yes. I heard him talk about Yeke being insultive and disrespectful, and why we are not taking punitive action on him at the legislature. It's in that we are not taking action, or we don't want to take action. But you should know the House is comprised of both oppositions and impositions. So you must have a number to achieve whatever you want to achieve in the chambers. So if you don't have the number, you cannot do what you want to do. And the other opposition will always stand by their colleagues. So if you even put an issue and there's a debate on the floor, you want to put it in vote. And the vote, if you don't have it, so you cannot take those kind of action that are required. But yes, there are laws on our rules, on the rule of procedure, that people should behave honorably.
All right.
But from our angle of view, as those in position, will not stand us in that.
After Grant, then I will just bring you in. Okay, yeah, Mr. Grant, you done? Okay, Mr. Grant, are you done? Honorable Grant.
Yes, I just said.
Okay.
Yes, I said. Yeah, I said that we do not have the requisite number to deal with him, to give him the punitive action that he deserves.
Okay. Okay, let me go to Canada, outside, a little outside of Morovia, is the CDC chairman, everybody, that's the chairman emeritus. Chairman Body, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. So.
Okay, thank you. Here. All right, I have Honorable Ellis Chesia Grant, is the Caucus chair. Mr. Roosevelt Johnson Jr. Is in UK, the Liberal Progressive Samson To, and Professor is all year best of all team here. Okay. Let's bring you into this conversation here. This all imported into your own county, and there was a tweet coming from you. Let's hear from you. What are your concerns, my dear brother?
Okay, thank you. My concern is a serious one, though. All right, what is coming out of Grand Jide, or what came out of Grand Jide over the past few days that you stormed the residence or the guest house of where Honorable Yeke Koluba, and the national, the National Congress, ANC, political leader, where you stormed it and they drove them out of Grand Jide, or say out of Zean City. I think that was wrong. While it is true that we may have some political difference with Yeke Koluba, the way he handles himself on the national stage, with the respect of, being too vocal, too abusive of the president of the Republic of Liberia and all that, we understand. But, that does not warrant citizens storming his place and telling him to get out of the county. The county is the property of the Republic of Liberia, and Article 13. Article 13A states that everyone has the right to move freely within the country, reside and move freely in the country. I mean, if the opposition politicians went to Grand County or went to Dreadroot, if we didn't like what they will have to say, boycott it, or go to the rally and ask Yeke Koluba tough questions. Tell Yeke Koluba, look, the way you handle yourself in Monrovia or in Liberia, we don't like it. And, if you want to disrupt his convention or his rally, do it peacefully, no violence, nothing. But for a group of young people to go and tell him and demand that they should leave the city, leave the county as a whole, I think that was wrong. And it should be condemned by all peace-loving Grand Jide because this stereotyping in Liberia, one person from a county does anything, it has a negative ripple effect on the entire county. That is wrong. If a group of youth did something that is wrong, don't, put it on the entire Grand Jide county. So this is my take on the issue.
So let's try to figure out here what is the end point of this in terms of solutions. We want to be solutions oriented. All what we're doing now is just a completely bad obituary we are on, but we're trying to find a way forward. So it is your party. It happens under the watch of your party, correct?
Yes. Again, I don't know whether all the youth that assembled and drove the people out of the county are all seditionists. I can definitively say that because anything that has to do with crowd gathering, a lot of other people, converge to see what is happening. And sometimes you find people who are opposed to a political party. They could go there and just cause disruption so that the image will be reflected on the party. That is an issue that we can also address. We can't just say they're all seditious. At the same time, we can't say it's all Grenadians who did that. Let's be very careful in pointing fingers. Those who were responsible should be brought to book. The law should investigate them and let's know who they are, why they did it, who sent them, or was it just sporadic, or was it an organized thing? Did it come from somebody higher than those kids that said, look, if Yeke Koluba and Alex Cummings come in the city, this is what you should do. We don't know. We can't make that determination unless a thorough investigation is conducted by the local authorities.
Let's create a little conspiracy theory here. Do you think somebody is responsible?
Well, again, Liberia, when things happen in Liberia, a lot of people have their way of, making their own judgment. If somebody, for example, passes away, it's not a disease that killed the person. It is somebody's hand that is behind the person. These are conspiracy theories. I don't believe until I can get a fact, I can get proof that someone actually pushed those kids or those young people. I will not say somebody's hand. But these are things that need to be investigated, so that we will know exactly why, who did that, who said this, who was the first to throw the stone, who was the first to start shouting and all that.
Mr. Chairman, do you think this action is politically motivated? Do you see as a political ploy on the part, maybe coming from the opposition, knowing full well, because these sound bites, these kisses saying, this sort of rare meat were already out there that, hey, this guy will not come here. And apparently the argument and this sort of theory that were put out, it came to light.
Again, Alphonso, these are things that, these are all conspiracy theories that need to be investigated until it can be proven. We can always speculate and say, this person is responsible, opposition politician is responsible, or the CDC, the chairman of CDC in Monrovia is responsible, or the local chairman in Grenada County is responsible. All these are all conspiracy theories. Someone is just.
What could be the possible? What could be the possible or probable probability that you think unfolded here with your experience here? Can we put nail on the hair?
Alphonso, I strongly believe that there's some elements within the county who are opposed to Yeke Koluba, the way he raised and he rants on national
Can we
TV,
establish, Mr. Chairman, can we establish the identity of those elements that you are referring to?
I don't know. I can't establish any identity.
Probably from this.
To do so, I may be speculating and drawing somebody into a situation that the person or the group of persons have no knowledge of. This is going to be, counterproductive on my part to draw anybody in there because I'm not on the ground. I'm not in Zwedru. Where I in Zwedru.
Do you think supporters or maybe partisans of the CDC, are they involved? You think so?
There may be some. No. There may be some because from what we heard from the crowd, there are some who were chanting that Yeke Kaluba is in a habit of abusing the president, verbally abusing the president. Therefore, we can't let him be here. You know, so it could be that there's some elements of young people overzealous young people who are members of the party, and also it could be members of the opposition party as well.
To orchestrate?
Say, let's go and do it. Let's do it so that the negative effect will be cast on the ruling party.
So the scenarios here is possibly is like an open field. Okay, do you think this investigation here, do you think it's going to be conclusive, that we will know at the end of the day one who does it or the folks that are involved are being held responsible? Do you think?
Yes, I have confidence in the local authority. I have confidence in the national government of Liberia that they will get down to the bottom of this. And I mean, surely the only way such scenario will not rear its ugly head somewhere else within the country is if a thorough investigation is conducted and those who are responsible be brought to book. If people who threw the first rock, who did the first shouting, if they are arrested for criminal acts and brought to books and let the law take its course, I'm sure kids or other youth in all the other counties within the country will be watching that. But to let them go scot-free will mean we're setting a dangerous precedent that could be replicated somewhere else within the country, and we don't want that.
Are you, Mr. Chairman, are you disappointed? Up to this point in time, in over 72 hours, no one has been apprehended, no person of interest is being called in as far as we are concerned. That's quite alarming.
No, I'm not disappointed at this point because I see there is a communication that came from the Minister of Information, Len Eugene Nambe, and that says that some investigation is going on. And in the process of investigating, it takes time. You don't want to just go and apprehend someone that will turn out to be a false alarm. So let the local authorities do their work, expeditiously. If it means the Minister of Justice in Monrovia will send a task force on the ground in Monrovia to make sure every screw is turned properly, every rock is lifted so that it will look on it. Let them do that. Because that's the only way we can stop these kinds of violent acts being perpetrated on opposition. We may not agree with them politically. It does not mean that they don't have the right to say what they want to say politically. So, I mean, the onus is on the Justice Ministry in Monrovia to make sure that they investigate this. Because we as crown people are the ones who get the brunt of the criticisms. It's not the government at this point in time. The crown people. Because when you hear, they say, oh, that crown people, they don't even point finger at the local government in Zwedu. They don't. They say crown people as a whole. And why should other crown people in the diaspora who have nothing to do with what's going on be blamed for what happened on the ground in Zwedu?
Honestly, on that part, it's a stupidness, and I always said that because this sort of just bunch people and put everybody in a basket of deplorable is just shows that these people lack of good judgment. We need to go after the culprits, those who does it, those who violate the law. Those are the people. But when you try to take that whole kitchen sink and rare meat to can't dump it, believe me, you're going to get a little taste, sour taste of me. That's fair to say. We do not condone it. And those people that did that, and this is why we are keeping it. Yeah, Gibson, I'm going to be coming to you here very shortly. We have to go to those people here. But quickly, Chairman Badit, before I turn to Gibson here, the histories of investigation being inconclusive too is some sort of a hair scratching that's put government on the edge. That the government is yeah. So what could be your recommendations? Are you a strong supporter? You are a sedition? You believe in the values of this party here. They are coming to Monrovia. What could be your recommendations in terms of this investigation? We are only hearing that the Ministry of Internal Affairs is going to be involved. Is it a good idea to incite independence group in order to give it a sort of openness?
Okay, I think what needs to be done, let all the government agencies and government security agencies that are responsible, the ministries that are responsible. Let the resources be put into place. For example, the Justice Ministry is responsible for law and order in the country. Justice Ministry should prevail on the local authority to make sure that investigation is properly and thoroughly done. If the Ministry of Local Government will get involved, that's not their responsibility to investigate crime. The responsibility of the ministry that investigate crime is the Ministry of Justice. So let the Justice Ministry prevail on their branch in Zvedru to make sure that investigation is thoroughly done. All the other ministries will only, make comments, they only inform the president on what's going on, like the Ministry of Information, like the local government ministry, internal affairs ministry. That's their jurisdiction, that their branch. Zvedru is under the Ministry of Internal Affairs. However, investigation of criminal activities fall under the jurisdiction of the Justice Ministry, which is given. Therefore, let the Justice Ministry be given all the tools available so that they can do their work.
Okay. All right. That's the voice of Chairman Jerry Badi. As a matter of fact, a student honor teacher here, the care eating your own baby. He's one of my mentors. He's one of my mentors. He get us to be where we are here. But when you come here, man, they are the president of this nation here too.
I know. That's your territory.
Yeah, and I really appreciate always we always have that fine line of demarcation. Okay, Chairman Bade, thank you so much. Just stick with us here. I think Representative Grant is gone, so let me just bring veterans Gibson Jeru. Gibson, are you here?
I'm here, and I can't wait to speak.
Okay, and I've been seeing things, I've been hearing things, I've been saying that now you're here. I wish you were on video. Where are you? I want to bring you on video here so we can have a conversation here.
I am in my office. I could be able to come on video, but I don't know how quick that will be, but I can make my comment, and I think people can hear me.
Okay.
And then we can work on the video later.
Okay, just make your comment. I want to see you vis-a-vis. I don't want you to make comment behind the darkness here. I want us to establish that eyes contact here. Let's see what's going to happen here. But Gibson Jeru, and I've been hearing here, and people say Gibson been sounding ridiculous, Gibson been doing this. What the heck is going on? So I'll hear the comment.
First of all, I call you for 3 reasons. One, I'm calling on Alexander Cummings to apologize to the people of Grand Jide for taking a very rude individual who went to the county to plan to execute Liberians in Grand Jide, calling them chicken, that he will slaughter chicken.
Gibson Jeru.
To walk with such a person.
Number
2,
Gibson Jeru.
Let me name my 3 points. I'll let you in. I'll let you in. Number 2, I'm here to give my complete support to the youth of Grand Jide. In fact, I think they were so lenient. They should have working and break one of his hands, and then they let him out. Then he will know that people in Grand Jide are not cowards. Number 3, the government of Liberia, if they make any arrest in Grand Jide, we Grand Jideans will detest that. There will be a witch hunt, because riot in Liberia is official. The other people have rioted, they have protested, they have black traffic, they are beating people, they are black hospital. The government of Liberia has not arrested anyone. If they arrest any rioter in Grand Jide, that will be the first time the Grand Jideans will go against this government, and I will lead that process.
Okay, Gibson Jeru, do me a favor here this evening. You are in office. I want to see you live. Professor Asese Uzalo is here, the liberal progressive on the other side. Mike Dant and Roosevelt Johnson Jr. there. Can you please come on video? Let us have this conversation here.
Mr. So.
Okay, so I'm going to send your email still the same. I'm going to send you a link, and you're going to be here. I want to see Wright himself expressing this here, so we can have a conversation. Okay, I'm sending it right now. Okay.
So.
Okay, let me see here. Let me go to other folks here on the line.
Can he hear me?
817 number. Are you there?
Am I audible, guys? Can you hear me?
45. Are you there?
Yes. I'm here.
Okay, what's your name and where you calling from? I will be going back to my guest.
Benson Mason, I'm calling from Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. What's your point?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
Yeah,
you know,
one point. Somebody speaking. Just hold on to now. One, sorry, you just can. Somebody speaking. Yeah, go ahead. Make your point quickly.
hello?
Somebody is speaking. Just hold on. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. I said someone is speaking. So just hold on. After that person, then we're going to come to you. Yeah. Forward Texas. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. So thanks for your dedication for this program, and thanks to all the noble Grangidians online. I kind of buffer when people try to protect. Violence is wrong in all instances, whether it's done by whoever is wrong. Yeka Koluba behavior is in no way be honorable. But to support the fact that people will start sectionalizing the country and determining who can go there and who can't go there, that is a bad precedent. I am very surprised I'm not surprised at Jeru, because Jeru is a divisive person in all his preaching I follow. But I'm not surprised to hear his utterance. I know Grangidians who are very noble people. I know Grangidians who are violent. But even so, I know Congo people who are very violent, and I know Congo people who are noble. There is nowhere nobody can claim monopoly on evil. We shouldn't sit here in the diaspora and support the wrong. Our brothers and little sisters, what they did was wrong. How will we elect it tomorrow morning when President we are gets up to go to local county, and the people in local county say, we don't want you, don't come here because you did that to our son. Is that what we want? Do we want to start sectionalizing the country? Do we want to start putting it back into the time of war where nobody could go Banga? Kwame couldn't go Banga because he was hunted there? Or Guillaume couldn't come Monrovia because he was hunted? Is that what we want right now? I think this president is bad. It is bad for our political arena. It is bad for our country. It is bad for our image. Let us condemn it.
Okay. All right.
I will agree. Let us condemn it. And before I leave, Mr. So please allow me to make this one statement.
Go ahead.
Liberia is not for any one tribe. Liberia is not for any one people. Grangidians, somebody asked the question. The president has built 500 units. It's building 500 units in Grand Crew. How many has he built in Grangidia for your people to live in? That's all I will say. Answer that question and decide your own.
Mr. So,
your program. I found you.
Okay, all right.
So,
817 number, are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, 817, are you there?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New York, Staten Island.
Okay, so what's your name, please?
My name is Alphonso Gibson.
Okay, Mr. Gibson, good afternoon. Thank you for joining. After this line here, then I'll be going back to my special guest there for their reaction. Okay, what's your point, my dear brother?
Yes, my point is the first person you have, or the interview you have with, I think, one of the fellows from the state from Grangidia, you cannot use fire to put up gas. You cannot use fire to put out gas. If you know the situation our people are going through in Liberia, it is very hard. We experienced 14 years of war between the Crown and the Liberians. We have to solve this problem because our country, we don't want for it to go out of hand.
Yeah, guy, let's just speak it up. Let's just go straight to the point.
Yes. The friend I want to speak to, Koluba behavior in Mosorado County, the president sat in Mosorado County, they never take action against Koluba colleague. I don't want for the Grangidians to feel that they are in favor of or Joe, and they go against the county rule, or people start blending into that tomorrow.
Okay.
So it's for everybody.
Okay.
It's
all right.
for the whole country.
Okay.
So I do not want for the Grangidian need to be involved in anything. I'm not a farmer. I'm from Grand Bassa. But I don't want for the Grangidian need to be involved in anything.
Mombasa, you. Mombasa, you.
Mombasa is up
It's a beson. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, my dear brother. You know, we got out.
I don't know why you're having me.
You know, people trying freaking out on this thing here. And these people, when they finish, they go talk beyond the scene. All right. Thank you so much. Let me go to this number here 68678. We come to Chairman Body before I go to my guest. Vibe video here 678. Are you there? What's your name and where you calling from?
Oh, my name is Jeremiah Shaw.
Oh, Mr. Shad, how are you?
All right, I agree with the soul. I'm trying to get on.
Yeah, but I sent you the request, and unfortunately I didn't get anything. But go ahead.
You probably misspelled my email address.
What the person? Okay, if you finish, you can text it on the number. If you want to come via video, then we can do it. But just go ahead, make your point here.
All right. Well, thank you. It's good that most of the people in the studio and those you have on video, most of them agree that violence, especially what took place recently in Nigeria, is unacceptable. And I was one of the first Nigerians ever to come out to voice my opinion about it. The thing is this: we don't want for Grand Guinea to be the epicenter of political violence in Nigeria, especially at our recent history. People get all the crime, people the names all over the place. Why is Grand Guinea no go for Yeke Kolba and it's not coming? And people there, beating their chest, or knocking their teeth and beating the drums of war to beat the men to death. I mean, if the people were going to go over there and then cause Yeke Kolba out, flush him out good. That's the way he does to other people. Flush him out.
Okay.
We do not want for Grand Guinea need to appear at the front pages of newspapers all across Europe and the United States. Like, hey, this is where the political violence in Liberia started. Is that a good name for Grand Guinea? We know Yeke Kolba is back. He has a very big mouth that you cannot even defend. But we Grand Guinea, it's not our fight. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
This is not the fight of Grand Guinea, even though it's a stronghold on TDC, but we should not take on it. It is not our fight. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. So I got out. Let me wrap this line here, so I'll go out with my people here. Okay. It's the 317. Emmanuel, you still got something to say? I won't go to Chairman about it. Emmanuel, are you there?
Yes, I still got something to say.
Okay, go to your point quickly before I go to the folks on online.
Okay, thank you very much. What I've got to say is against the hypocrisy in Nigeria. If we think what happened in Grand Guinea is wrong, then we should have been just as we are all over Facebook today. All over Facebook when the day anything happened in Nigeria. We should have done the same thing when the president convoy was stoned on October 15th. We should have done the same thing when those who were chased out of the University of Liberia campuses. We should have done the same thing when Western got finished at the city hall was stoned by some agreed students who said somebody was not supposed to be there. We should have done the same thing when somebody was pulled out of Penn campus.
Somebody line is that, and that's what I don't like. The line.
We saw on the show, that is so. This is going to continue to happen. That's how the war in Liberia people were selected. They know which one to talk to and which one not to talk to. If people agree, they will act.
Okay.
Right.
Somebody driving.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Okay, this is the only call, Chairman Ballot. I think you are listening to it before I go back to my all-star panelists from UK, from the oil field of North Dakota, to the main studio in Liberia, and the Liberal Progressive. Let me go to Chairman Ballot.
Yes, I'm here. So.
Okay, before I wrap up for you here, so you've been listening to quite a little bit of you. I'm not sure what you listen to about Chessiard Grant. What is the way forward here? What sort of solution can we approach? And you quite get it right. The concept, the idea, that as bad as they And for everybody to just kind of throw this sort of chimambaki on everybody, I think that is ridiculous. And I think we need to go after those who did this. Because then that's, if not, and everybody to just say, okay, I was here. I didn't know. 1 o'clock, and not being mic'd down. I wouldn't know what was going on here. So it is unfair for people to indict me into something that I really don't know about as well. So, that's the statement coming from the overall office here today. The President of the Republic of Liberia released on the executive mansion. President Weah, if you love me, support me, refrain from violence. President Weah tells supporters. What's your final word?
Well, yeah, I think, thank you. That release, I haven't had the chance to look at it yet because, like I told you earlier before coming on, I'm so busy, I don't even have the time to look at computer these few days. Everything is scattered here. But I think that statement that you just read, you just alluded to from the president, that's the best statement ever. Because if you, as a partisan, you love the head of the party, you love your party, disengage from violent acts. Because violence will not solve the problem. Our country went through a whole lot of violence that made a lot of us to flee the country. This time around, we're trying to build on our nascent democracy. At this point in time, let politics be, civil discourse, real politics be the hallmark. People should not engage in violent acts just because you don't like certain person or you don't like the political party. The way forward to make Liberia peaceful, the peace that we've been enjoying over 10 years now, let us be civil. Let us respect each other's views. You can oppose my view, but you don't have to be violent in your attempt to tell me that you don't like my view.
Okay.
Look at what's going on. Grangida County now is where all these activities started a few days that we are talking about. What if it happens in another county? Or again, if there is a politician or a group of politicians, local politicians, who are pushing the young people to engage in these kinds of acts, they should stop. I'm saying if, because I don't have any clear information that certain local politicians are responsible. They should stop that because the politicians who are now ruling from the county, their time will be gone. And who's going to take over will be the youth of the county. Now, what would it look like if one of those youth that was throwing rocks or that was in a habit of causing, civil disobedience or violent disobedience, if one of them aspires for a political office tomorrow and he's on record, he's in the newspaper, his picture is being shown all over that he was responsible for such violent acts, what would it look like? If he goes to Lupa County tomorrow to either campaign to be a vice president of the Republic of Liberia or president of the Republic of Liberia, and someone identifies him and says, "Oh, you remember 2020 in Zredu, you were the first person who threw rat at Yeke Koluba." What will he say? So these local politicians, if they are the ones who pushing the young people, they should desist because their turn on the stage will go, and the young people will be the ones to take over. So let us not, tarnish the reputation of these young people before they even become adults to start to run for political office in the country. Grangida is part of Liberia, and any Liberian has the right to go to Grangida, to live in Grangida, to work in Grangida, to pass through Grangida. We pass through so many counties before we go to Grangida. From Monrovia, we go through Magibi, through Bong, through Nima County, before going to Grangida County. Now, do you want one day you were driving your car, you get to Bong County, people set a roadblock and say, you did this to a politician, you will make sure that you don't pass through this county? Or what if you're going through Buchanan to go to Riverside, to go to Sounders, to go to Grangida, and someone from one of those counties along the way prevents you from going? How would it look like? How would you feel? Because what goes around comes around, right? If you think violence being perpetrated by you on somebody is good, someone else can do it to you tomorrow as well. So let us stop these violent acts. You know, the president, I am sure 100% does not and did not condone what happened and does not condone what will happen in a violent situation like that in his name. He's not a violent person. So don't go around shooting, pushing, throwing stones at somebody else and say, I love the president because he insulted the president. That is why I'm doing that. I remember during the campaign 2017, when opposition politicians, specifically Liberty Party, right, they set up a roadblock in San Nicolas against GDC partisans. What did candidate George Weah say? Candidate George Weah said, look, stop that, partisans. Those people on the other side of the line there, they are your brothers, they are your sisters, they are your nephews, they are your uncles. Don't throw rocks over there. They may be Liberty Party or partisans. They are Liberians, they are your brothers. Calm the situation. So why now will a group of young people in Zwedru believe that because Yeke Koluba has been insulting the president, therefore they should go and perpetrate violence against Yeke Koluba in the name of the president? The president was not condone that. So we should stop that. Yeah. That is totally wrong. And I again, before I close, again, I'm calling on the Justice Ministry and Musa Bean, assemble all your team of experts, investigators to go to Grand Junior County and investigate this. Make sure those who are involved be arrested so that this dangerous precedent cannot, reach its head somewhere else within the country.
All right, that's the voice of Chairman Jerry Badit from Vancouver. That is in Canada. Is the chair of the CDC Canada branch there on the line. Chairman Badit, thank you so much for tapping in here. What a busy day. I'm about to go right back to my group, my guests here and the team of panelists. I am Alphonso Zean from the East Coast of the Liberia Public Radio. It's 5:10 p.m. Eastern Time. 9:10 in Liberia, 3:09 in Denver, Colorado, 12:10 in Damascus, Syria. Welcome. I'm Alphonso Zean, so stay tuned. I'll be right back.
The search for honest answers in the Zwedru saga involving Representative Yeke Koluba and ANC Alexander Benedict Cummings is taking more critical conversation on the Diaspora Informative News Network Public Radio. Grand Jita Legislative Caucus condemned the incident. Now Caucus Chair Alex Seagrad will be appearing live on LPR with Alphonso Zean. In addition, we will be getting dissenting views from Grand Gedians and non-Grand Gedians. Join me live in today's edition of Freedom Watch on LPR TV.
Diaspora Informative News Platform Liberia Public Radio LPR presents Freedom Watch with Alphonso Zean. On Freedom Watch, we hold national leaders, opposition, and the general public accountable for words by asking tough questions in exchange for real-time answers. No one walks away free by providing false information. If it's from LPR and AZN, it got to be good. Be my guest every Sunday live on LPR TV from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV.
Okay, let's see here. Let me bring my group here, guys. What a hectic day here. I'm sorry to get you guys to this point here, but it is it. That's how when politicians and when the political leaders, when they don't make decisions, they keep up busy. The liberal progressive liberal. Are you already in bed? It's not even yet 5 o'clock to you. Gilson White Jerry is here with us here on this event. Roosevelt Johnson Jr. is based in UK. Professor Asese Zawlo is right there near the capital of Washington, D.C. And of course, our own man, Mike Dunn, is still in main studio in Liberia. Gibson, there seems to be a new name, Nyangbe.
Well, this is not a new name. This is the real name. I'm the Simon Yambu, and I am Mr. So. Mr. So,
Yeah.
I hate to do this if you will listen to me very keenly. Mr. Gerald, please. And then, of course, I'm older than you, so I'm too blunt. You're more too blunt, so I know you're not going to interrupt me. But let me say this here, quite frankly. Mr. So, I think in this type of gathering, especially on LPR, I think you have done a masterful job over the years as our leader on LPR, and you have
Somebody lied.
older
I'm getting
than
the
you.
feedback. Yeah, go ahead. I was getting the feedback. I was burning my ear. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and some of us older than you, nevertheless, we follow your leadership. Mr. Jeru, I have a post here that I used to post on most of my show some 4 or 5 years ago. Mr. Jeru helped to write. Consider us, LPR, as an intellectual platform. That word intellectual platform carries a lot, but I'm not here to defend it, Mr. So. I think Mr. Gibson Jeru, journalist by training and a well-seasoned journalist. I'm not here to pull punches. Gibson Jeru, a man who violent on several times, on several fronts, have visited him, violent, have visited Mr. Jeru and many of his family members. He is quite aware the result of a violence. Mr. Jeru, the opportunity is yours. You know both. Let me put it the way you know both. You have your own friend, Professor Zaro, is sitting here, highly educated. Mr. Roosevelt Johnson, highly educated. You know the words you can express that will still be, the words come out of you that will still be able to convey the meaning that you want to express, than to use some words that are unbecoming. I will ask you, this is the platform that you yourself helped to put together. We're still here. And this is a platform that you give for us to be respectful for our brothers and sisters. The opportunity here on this platform allow people to come out to express themselves. But we always ask our brothers and sisters that this is a place for discussion. Why would Gibson Jerry, someone who have experienced so much violence, I don't need to enumerate all of those here to you. You know what I'm talking about. Why would you sit here and ask that people should have having somebody's hands broken? Someone who was a son of another mother, because you didn't like, because he's insulting, you're going to ask somebody to harm him, and you're going to support that? Mr. Jeru, I find that offensive as your older brother. And there's
Hello?
But let's engage these people and have a clear understanding of what it is we want to go. Thank you very much, Mr. So. Go ahead.
Okay, let me tell you right now, we are not in Totan. These are some of the things that we are talking about. Okay, this is not Totan. We don't sanction people's views and stuff here. Okay, let me go to Mike Don. Mike Don is doing that. Gibson Jerry, I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna come to you. Don't worry. I'll told Gibson here to come off camera. Don't bring your total idea here. We are talking about national issue. Okay. All right. Mike Don.
Yes, Alfonso, thank you again, and I'm very much been observing the issue. I mean, following all of the discussion, and I mean, it's been a very good one. But again, we just hoping that the government of Liberia will investigate the issue to see to it that perpetrators are brought to justice. But again, here in Liberia, many a time there are so many committees that have been set up to investigate issues, but after a few days, those investigation, I mean, issue will just be swept on the carpet. Again, we're hoping that with the statement coming from the president today, during his preaching at the Fokeklon Church, that the Ministry of Justice should investigate the incident in Zouadjou. We're hoping that it is actually investigated to ensure that perpetrators are brought to justice. Again, Mr. Branto, you know, the platform is designed in such a way that everyone is entitled to his or her view. So I mean, well, Gibson said that that's how he felt again, and so we cannot judge him by his feeling.
This old man here is he's always embarrassment to this little here.
So I will not allow people to preach violence.
That's not what we are saying. Okay, let me bring Gibson Nyangbe Jaro. He said his name has been there. My dear brother and friend Gibson, good evening and welcome on LPR. It's like a welcoming home.
Thank you very much, Alphonso. I said earlier that I'm on your show today for 3 issues. One, Caucus must apologize to the people of Nigeria for his reckless, irresponsible, and very uncouth statement he used against the youth of Nigeria. And if the Caucus does not apologize, I will be one of those who will be in the vanguard to reject Caucus in our country. The second reason I'm here is to throw my support behind the youth of Nigeria. I said thank you to them. The Yeke Koluba you are talking about today, he taught us how to do riot. He taught us how to protest. He taught us how to do all of what we did in Nigeria. And we are not wrong because they have been practicing Liberia. They have normalized it. They have done it so much that it's become normal to Liberian society. And so when we do it, we don't think it's wrong. The third one is to talk to the government of Liberia. I will be the next Henry Costa if George Weah government arrests one soul on account of this issue. I'm promising you today, on the death of my mother and father, if George Weah government arrests one citizen of Nigeria on account of this, I will be the next Henry Costa, and I will be the rudiest Nigeria on TV ever to be observed. Let me tell you something, Alphonso. Why are people not honest with themselves? The same Yeke Koluba, they blocked the JFK, the Catholic hospital that bar people from going to hospital to get the needed medical attention. These people burned tire in the streets of Monrovia. These people blocked traffic. These people broke down business in Monrovia. They threw their protest. And our boys only went to protest that they don't want you there. You know what the man said? Let me play the video. Let me play the sound for you so you can hear it. Let me tell you, let me play what the man said to the people of Nigeria. And you telling me they should not beat him and break their hands off his
You are being right all along. Where does Nyangbo come from today?
Is that why I want Jackie Cover to do and sit down and look at him like a king? He must go outside and push out chicken in Grand Jeddah County? Does he have the right to push out chicken in Grand Jeddah County? I'm not a coward. And I will be one person. From now on, I will campaign. The next time Yeke Koluba step in our country, if they cause me to send money to Liberia for them to weapon, I will do that. Listen, let's look at reality. How many of these people have not caused in this country? How many of you condemned them? The man went to Grand Bassa County. The man was held hostage in Grand Bassa County in Buchanan. Is it the first time? This man is our in-law. He goes to the town of his in-law and tells the in-law that he's going to kill his children. And you telling us we should not beat him? Those youth were so cowards. They should have whipped him, but they didn't whip him. Let's be realistic, guys. And then the government are going to investigate what? Riot? You want to investigate riot? Start from Monrovia. Start with June 7. With June 7 riot. Start with December.
But they are discussing the one that happened in Zoeju, not the one that happened in Monrovia.
I'm just trying to say, Mike, you're right. It's fast. But why didn't they investigate those before? Those were the riots that brought down the economy of our country. Those were the riots that brought down in the streets of our country. Those are the riots that caused vehicles to be destroyed in our country. Those are the riots that blocked the major hospital in our country. Why didn't you investigate in Grand Jeddah? Because they said we have to come back to leave the country. Then they will go investigate who? Nigerian.
Okay.
Like, you try it, and you'll see my action in this country. And I will go to radicalize it.
Gibson.
Yes.
Let me ask you, you're talking about Yeke Koluba, you want to be like Heron Costa. You are publicly denounced Heron Costa, his immature behavior, his inexperienced behavior, his innuendos, his kitchen sink, his the rare meat, and the list goes on and on. You are, and you want to be like that person?
No. Listen, I'm setting an example. Maybe the Georgia government elects these kind of people.
Is that a slip of tongue?
It's not slip of tongue. The George we are government, if they arrest one soul in Nigeria, it means they like the kind of people of Costa. The man who will say he will burn down Morovia, the man who will say he will burn down the Raw International Airport, the man who say he will order his supporters to beat people and kill them, and he will juke them with knife, and he will go live on their body. The man who said the president, he want to drag the body of the president in the street. All of these things are not hate crimes.
Am I correct? You've been articulating the message of the CDC government?
And you tell you what go investigate to a resident, try it. Try it to arrest people there.
So when that happens, you've been articulating the message of the CDC government that it means you're going to somersault.
I'm not articulating the message of the CDC government. I've never done. My only position on criticizing opposition, and I've said it over and over. Apparently, people don't just want to listen to what I say. The media in Liberia.
Why they don't want to listen to you?
The media in Liberia has failed to bring fire onto the feet of the opposition that continue to make reckless statements. How many media institutions in Morovia that condemn Dara Dillon for talking about any abruptly the administration? None. How many media institutions in Liberia brought Yeke Koluba ever wrote an article condemning Yeke Koluba? None. How many media institutions in Liberia condemned Costa for all of violent comments and violent comments? None. How many media in Liberia have ever criticized Alexander Cummings for lying to the Liberian people and everything and telling about Talia Ure won election, which could have caused serious violence in district number 15? None. And you want to kind of arrest Grandian because they told Yekekoro to leave Grandian? I will be the next Costa from Grandian if the George Black government arrests one soul in Grandian. And if I'm prepared to lay my life on that issue. We cannot permit people to use us as they go in our time and call us chicken and you slaughter us. And you expect us to let him be there to sleep there? Is that what you want?
Do you have something personal against? Do you have anything personal against Representative Yeke Koluba?
No, the man is my in-law. He got my daughter. The man goes in my county. He's going to talk to me like an in-law.
So why not you tell your daughter to divorce him? Because I remember my grandfather. That's what he does.
And the next operation, we're going to ask our daughter, do you still want this man?
Are you willing to marry your sister, your own daughter?
My sister can stay with us. She can have a boyfriend, no problem, but we're not marrying her. But we're just asking her, we're not taking her for the marriage. She said, are you okay with your husband's attitude? When she said, yeah, it's okay, be there. We can't take her from, we can't take our husband, our daughter from marriage.
Yeah, Gibson, are you saying that by the government launching an investigation into this, the government is in error to have to call for investigation into this?
Because they are not like in Morovia. How many protests are not taking place? How many destruction of property are not taking place? How many burning of towns are not taking place? How many problems they are not causing our country? Have they launched one investigation on that?
But so many investigations have been launched. Even recently, when some youth went on the rampage, set up or roadblocks in front of Lone Star Cell, MTN, there were investigations launched into that, and people got arrested.
Okay, maybe because that day those people they were bad lucky.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, let me bring in Roosevelt Johnson Jr. Mr. Johnson, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, again, this is what we do here on LPR, and I hope you're going to be making your set available. This is what you're hearing from Gibson. Is that a way to go?
Well, to my own opinion, I don't think it's the way to go. First of all, you cannot fight fire with fire. To be honest with you, we don't want to keep we don't want to have Grand Jada as a place of where you call or tensions of raising contention and bringing heat in Morovia. We Grand Jenians, and even myself, we're talking at Grand Jenians, we all reject what is going on in Grand Jada, not because we don't support our people what happened in Grand Jada. We do support them, but we reject violence. We don't want violence in Grand Jada County, and we don't want it to be the heart of that place for Liberia. The people have the right to come outside and do whatever they want to do. Yes, we understood that Yeke insulted Grandians by saying that you coming outside, you're going to kill chicken. Let me see the chicken will come in front of him. But that doesn't mean we should return violence. You know what I mean? We all here to make sure that our country is not a place of violence. Grenadians are loving people. Grenadians are caring people, and we will not allow such violence to continue in our country. We not still do support our people. We do support our people in every right, but not to create violence in Grenada County. And I disagree with what Mr. Jury, Mr. Gibson is saying. We're not supposed coming up with hashtag. You gotta cut people's hands or do this one or break people's hands. No, come on, we cannot do that. From my own point of view. My dad was in the war. As you all know that, I should be the one to say, yes, we're going to do it, we're going to do it. But at this time, we're looking for peace. We're moving forward. And we cannot we cannot move forward with such violence. We can't do that. We should reject it. Any forms of it, in any forms, we should reject it.
Okay, Professor Isaac says, well, I have to do that.
Let me quick there for 30 seconds. Brother Roosevelt Johnson, the action of Grenadians were not directed against political action. And that's where you guys are making a mistake. The people never said a word against commies. They never lifted a finger on commies. They were disgruntled because the man commies came with is of vile speaking, uncouth, rude, violent, and very disrespectful character. And his action, his presence in the country was a bar association. That's what they said, let him leave. And he said he was not leaving because he was going outside to bush out chicken. And that word is what provoked the anarchy. And that word provoked the protest. So it was not because they don't want political activities in the country.
Gibson, you are a journalist. Don't you think he was speaking metaphorically?
No, not metaphor. We don't know metaphor in Granted.
Excuse me. I personally don't.
I rest my case.
Okay. Not metaphor.
Our president don't support Yaket at all with his violence. But come on, we don't have violence, fighting violence. We are great generals, we are peaceful set of people, and we must continue to remain that way. You know what I mean? We must continue to remain that way.
Okay.
I should be the one to say. I should be the one to say sorry. So I should be the one to say, gentlemen, I got a lot of the people in Grand Jede. So gentlemen, you carry on with Yaket. He started our people. Yes, you know he married our daughter. Oh, come on, man. We can't do that.
Let me ask you a question, Roosevelt.
No, hold on 1 second, right? Hold on 1 second. Let me take it. I'm seeing a different side here. But let me bring in Professor Ase Cesaro, and I have to do that to put you like a piece of cloth between the sisters. And you're smiling. Is Gibson Jeru on the good path to history making or what? Or are you on the wrong side of history?
Well, again, I would want to return to what I've always said. Yeah, I think Gibson has made some points, but I think, look, nobody wants our political situation to assume a violent path. I think we all are opposed to that. I would not subscribe to any kind of discussion regarding, inflicting any bodily harm on any individual. So let me.
So, but do you want to denounce what Gibson said?
No, let's also listen to what Gibson has said. Gibson has said a lot of things, so I don't know what I can just denounce everything in one basket. Because Gibson has made a lot of good points also. I do not support his stance on inflicting harm on individuals. I do not support that. I do agree with it that, look, I think Gibson also indicated some of the same things I've said here. Look, it's the behavior that people exhibit that sometimes places them in this kind of position. And I've also posted somewhere, and I responded to another individual who indicated that I too was supporting violence, and I used the exact same thing that Gibson said. There was Alexander Cummings in Grand Jede. He was in Zwedru. The anger of the people were not targeted against Alexander Cummings, neither was it targeted against the CPP delegation in Zwedru. Their concerns were targeted at Honorable Koluba. And so what I'm saying and what Gibson is saying is, look, this is about time that we begin to reconsider how we engage each other at the legislature, for example. I don't want to get in trouble, but just go and witness what's happening at the legislature, how some of these people behave. Prominent among those people who definitely engage in foul language at the legislature is Mr. Koluba. See how they argue. So I think what this Grand Jede youth have done is that They have brought this thing to the national table so that we can begin to discuss it and see how we can better engage one another. Yes, we all are opposed to any form of violence. See, these Shanks were victims of violence throughout. And so we will not encourage it. But we think this is an opportunity for us to sit down and discuss. And I'm sure, and I'm thinking that Mr. Kuluba is a rational person. And I would personally try to reach out to him and ask him to involve himself in a period of reflection and think about his actions and see how is it helping the political situation in our country. And I'm sure, I'm very positive that many other people who are asking him to do the same. And I think then our country will become better. This incident, look, here's the thing. In as much as this incident was ugly, I think this incident is very useful and very important and very paramount to our democracy. I think our country will become better as a result of this incident, then it will go back as a result of this incident. People will learn from this, and they will be able to move forward and chart the course that we want to chart in this Second Republic. Look, the bottom line, it was a Grand Zean who gave Liberia opportunity to be in a Second Republic. Had it not been for Samuel Kanyando, we would have a Second Republic. So we ought to take all of these things into consideration. Again, maybe Grand Zean is on the course of making history. The youth of Grand Zean spoke, and the country listened, and they began to discuss and address these concerns.
Okay, let me go to Mike down so you can make a final comments. It's getting late inside Morovia. Gibson is in a nice, cool place. Mr. Johnson, yeah, we get a few more minutes yet to be wrapping up because I have to be back here at 7 o'clock. What a crazy. Why you guys brought this? And this is why I'm not a friend to these politicians. They give a headache. Just headache. So, Mike Dunn, let's get a final comment. What is expected? What are you hearing that will unearth tomorrow in the media industry or media landscape in Liberia?
Well, so many issues are unfolding, but away from what we're discussing, processes leading to the burial of Representative Muna Pena Yomblo is taking place in Monrovia, and also again, I've just been told by one of our reporters that some citizens of Grand Zean County, on the same issue that we are discussing tonight, we'll be having a press conference. LPR has just been invited to that press conference. We don't know what exactly they want to say. And so many things are, unfolding in the media here. Sorry issues. Again, Mr. Gibson, to just say finally from my end, the issue of the way we feel to address issue aggressively with violence, I don't think is the way to go. Humanly speaking, taking off my journalistic cap. Humanly speaking, I think this has never solved most of our problems in Liberia. Fire for fire has never, and it will not just solve issue really because of some of us, we haven't lived for a long period of time, but for the few decades we've lived for, we saw some issues in Liberia. Violence had not been good. Responding to issue aggressively in the form of retaliation has not been a good way. Actually, observing 2005 process, covering 2005 election, 2011, and coming to 2017, where some other smaller violent activities were witnessed. It were not good actually. So again, I think the best thing is, and if the way government has launched investigation into this issue, a proper result come out to know who actually orchestrated this, to know how this all started, because we are all reporting it from the outside sources. We are not inside to see how did this actually happen.
Okay. Mike, thank you so much. Gibson, from what I'm saying here, a lot of the men from Total Message has resonated with you.
No, nothing. What he did, he just talked like a big brother, but it does nothing to me. Listen, let me just say this. If I want to intellectualize this issue, I can intellectualize it. I'm speaking to you people from my heart. We are back at the crossroad again. It happened during early administration. I was the only person making noise around here. people like Ellis, Yala, and all of people were saying that nothing is happening in Liberia. We are about to have the same problem. Not because our people support George Weah.
I think
we use that as the means of arresting our people to show that he is trying to show to the Liberian people that he's fair. I will not take that because there have been so many of these kind of riots.
I will not take that. You are just a single person. How can you fight? Can you act like a hero and die like a mean bad man, Gibson?
My brother, there was only one person that talked about a revolution. If George Weah thinks that because the Granadians support him and he wants to make a name good to the Liberian people, and he goes to Granada and arrests Liberians there, Granadians, for riots, that will be the first time I will go against this government entirely, unreasonably too, because we have several examples of the same thing, that nothing has been done to these people. Their leaders, Yeke Koluba, the Henry Costa, the rest of the people, even Ure, they have said all kinds of things. They have done all kinds of things. They have directed people to go in the street to destroy the economy of our country, to put our people in hunger, to burn tires. Nothing has been done to them. And if Grand Jeddah have learned from the same thing and riot in Grand Jeddah, there's nothing nobody should do to them. We didn't hurt people. We didn't kill people. We rioted. And it is our right, according to the Council of Patriarchs, it's our right to riot. It's our right to protest. That's what they say. It is a constitutional guarantee that Granadians can protest anybody in their country, especially such a rude man to go in our country. The government cannot go and arrest people because of riot. I am promising my entire life on this. If George Weah government arrests one person in Grand Jeddah because of their riot, that's the first time I will be the worst enemy of this government, and I will go all the way. And I will mobilize people from Grand Jeddah. I will pay my way to go to Grand Jeddah to mobilize people, and we will go against George Weah in any way, shape, and form, even if our action does not determine his electability. How do you take us for? You think we're trying to look for a name from other Liberians? They don't even like us always, anyways. Everything they blame us. Even if we did right thing, they blame us. If they're good thing, we blame us. These people are enjoying democracy today because people came back to remove Taylor out of their necks. Who are they? We brought democracy back to Liberia. We are not afraid. We're not going to pretend to anybody to behave like, oh, I don't want for them to say I'm a violent. I am.
So Gibson.
Yes.
Is your action, is it been more political? Is someone now giving helping hand to Gibson to proceed in this direction?
Listen, right now, no $5. In fact, I'm not even taking money from people. Alphonso Zean, so let me tell you something. The money I have to go start a business in Liberia, if I will use that to rise up the Granadians in Grand Jeddah with my personal money, I will do it. I'm not kidding, Alphonso. That riot, that protest, is a right guarantee. When the people were protesting in Monrovia, when we spoke about it, they said that they are constitutional right. So Granadians don't have constitutional right to go and protest. They can decide who they want in their country.
So who are you speaking for? We were just before we came on. Because we're on air, the elders, the women group, and everybody now the condemnations is coming, even from those that are stakeholders. So why would Gibson proceed in this direction?
Hey, Alfonso, it's normal. If I were one of the elders in Monrovia today, I would be the first to issue a statement. We don't like what you've did. How can an elder say, oh, we thank you for doing what you're doing for driving the people out of this country? They're not going to do that. I'm just being the honest person to say exactly what Granadians are thinking about in their living room right now. They are happy that Yeke Koluba was driven out of the country. They are happy that Yeke Koluba, even the lawmakers, all of them are happy that Yeke Koluba is driven out of the country because they may not belong there. This man went into his brother-in-law town, his in-law's town, instead of coming out and saying, oh, you can't kill me now. I'm your in-law, I got your daughter. You can't kill me now. I hear. Instead of saying that, for them to say and make it out of fun and forgive me and let it go, he said he would kill chicken in his in-law town. And you people are here telling me I should not. The man said you kill chicken in your in-law town. You will kill us. We who gain a wife will kill us. And you people say we will not riot? We will not drive you out of the town? Hey, my people, I'm the next bad man you can think about.
Oh, really? Samson Brown told Professor Zaulot, Roosevelt Johnson Jr., you guys seems to be in shock.
To be honest with you, in as much as I call myself liberal with big mouth, Zean continued to surprise me. But then again, he has a right to say whatever he's saying. I've already stated mine, and I will talk to him. He knows I'm going to call him. You know, I'm not going to leave it like that because he knows. Anyway, the point here, Mr. So, is this. I think the professor...
I don't know whether Zean looking for settlements anywhere here, because that's part of the problem. Liberian government, they always like to make settlement when you become like, you get that sort of loud voice here. Zean, are you looking for settlement?
No. Listen, my brother, I am a pragmatic person. You never see me speaking like this.
I'm surprised.
I am so mad. I am so mad that people are bringing Granjita's name to disrepute for this. The man started he taught everybody how to do riot. He taught everybody how to protest. When we told them what they were doing was wrong, when he started doing was wrong.
Let me hold you right there. Let me hold you right there. You are a teacher. Is that a right teaching that you want to adapt as well? The rioting. Is that a right teaching?
Who the question going to?
You're going to Gibson, Mr. Jero.
Oh, on Yeke Koloba?
Yeah.
I want them to make it a course in like being Granjita High School. Let be a course.
What's
now,
about
if somebody like Yeke goes in the town and say, I will kill your children, they must drive me out of the county. But why are you guys doing this? Why are you guys doing this? Are you guys trying to make me look like I don't know what I'm talking about? This man is our in-law. This man goes into the town, they put protesting him, and he say he will kill people in the town, and you people want us to treat him like a baby or to treat him like the ambassador? No, man, I beg you. I can't stomach this. If I will be the one to be
let me make my point, and I can excuse myself quickly. Let me just say this here.
Yeah, we're going to be wrapping out now. Let me go to you guys. Samson, you say you want to go first?
Yeah, I just want to make my point here, and then I think this thing is going to go on for a while all over the community. What I want to say here,
like at 7 o'clock here for a special presentation, so I got to need a little hour to rest here. Yeah, go ahead, Samson.
What I want to say here very quickly is that I just want to pick it back on what the professor said earlier about using this as a means to educate each other. And I think the ball is in the court of Yeke Koloba and the president. The next step of these two leaders, the position they will take will give a direction to where this thing ends. And I think Granjitans, whether you like it or not, they have done, like Professor said, they have done their best, put this thing back on the map to say, is this where we want to go? Now we're all going to be examining this whole issue. I think Koloba also going to have to re-examine himself, because it seemed to me that his own brothers and sisters, even people in his wife's town, where his children most likely might want to go and stay sometime, they don't like his behavior. So it should indicate to him that certain things he's saying in his process of advocacy that people do not like, and people are not comfortable with it. And so he needs to perhaps redirect his word in the kinds of things he say, number one. And the president himself, why is it Koloba will take on, who is somebody who is representing a community, will go into himself and become insulted to the president? What's the reason? So these two gentlemen have a moment to take us to a different direction. Because I believe in that anything happen to Koloba, you're going to face the weight. There's no question ice. Koloba is not Samson Tor. He's very popular in the country. You can't do anything to him in terms of harming him and think you're going to go scotch-free. It's not happening. So these people must understand the power that's in their hand if they want to solve this thing. Because the 2023, if this thing don't resolve now, 2023 is going to be worse. So I want to thank you very much, Mr. So I'm going to have to take a leave of you. Professor.
Yeah, look like
brother, Johnson, thank you very much for joining us. Please don't be stranger to LPR program. You guys, I'm a liberal progressive. I always have my show, and he's a conservative. As you can see, the line of Princeton here tonight. He brought me on. Look how many CDC people he brought. He brought Jerry Bade, who is my own brother, and also chairman of CDC. Look at the professor, and look at all of you guys, all sedition, and he can put me in the mix here tonight. So please come on my show sometime where you will meet the real liberal and have a conversation. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I will ask you to bring Gibson Jero. How's that?
No. After Casey and myself have a conversation tonight, then I'll bring him.
So Gibson, maybe you to take. I say, okay, something to thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to be wrapping up. Professor Zaulo, what will be your departing statement?
Yeah, well, again, as Metin, first of all, let me just say to those people in radio line out there, some people have come up to accuse me of supporting the violence initially. No, I indicated that what goes around comes around, and that this is an opportunity for us to discuss on how we're going to carry ourselves out come December 2020, as well as October 2023. So I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to discuss this issue, and I want to thank everyone who expressed their position here. Gibson, Honorable Roosevelt Johnson Jr., and the others who've left. I think we had a very, very cordial discussion today, and I think we need to continue to have these kind of discussions to see how we can better ameliorate our tone of our national discourse. It is threatening. Look, the last thing I say, look, I have a school in Liberia. I was just drafting the plans for my school for 2020-21. And two things on the plan. One is to visit the Supreme Court to see a case in session. And two was to visit the national legislature. And one of the apprehensions I've been having is that, do I get the case to go there on a day when the people over there will be using curse words? And how do I know when to take the case there? So this is the kind of national discussion we need to have. I mean, our representatives have to, carry out themselves in a way that will be worthy of emulation by the young people. When that is not happening, it undermines our effort in building the kind of democracy that so many of our citizens died, to see today. So thank you again.
All right, that's the voice of Professor Asese Zaulo. Mr. Johnson, what's your last departing statement?
Well, what I would like to say today is, first of all, thank you for having me on the show, and thank all of you guys for coming on as well, and all those who participated in the show calling and have their own views up here today. I would just like to say that we first need to understand that Grand Judah County is a county of peace, and we want to continue to remain that way. I agree with some of the things Mr. Gibson said. Well, we cannot continue to support violence. We know Grand Judahs will continue to support our people anyways, and no matter what happens, Grand Judah will always be where we come from. And in order to move Liberia forward, we have to continue to hold together, continue to work together, continue to give peace a chance, so that we, as Liberians, and we can go home some days to. We're not gonna get old yet to go home some days to sit rest in our own place. And thank you once again. And I would like to say thank you for having me. And that's it.
Okay. That's the voice of Mr. Roosevelt, the late Roosevelt Johnson, who is a one-time Minister of Transport, Republic of Liberia, was actively involved into the crisis zone, making a first appearance. Hopefully, we're going to have you here regularly anytime you have a little time. Liberia Public Radio brings the diversities and a lot of conversation to the table. Okay, let me go to the oil field of the Dakota land, where Gibson Nyangbe White Jero is standing by here now. Gibson Jero.
Look, thank you very much, Brother Zaulo.
Okay, let me ask you this. Yaka Koluba is on his way to Grand Judah. Will you be there?
There you go. Don't make me no pay my way to go. The coronavirus been there, keeping everybody at
Where Morag is going. Where Morag going?
Don't make me to go and buy my ticket tomorrow to go to Grand Judah. That may meet me Grand Judah. I'm not be with. I can guarantee you that. But I want to say I respect the two German people that are being in studio. Mr. Johnson, thank you very much. Mr. Zaulo. Look, I'm not a violent man, but I like the way they treated Yeke Koluba. He invited violence to himself. And I'd like to make my point again. Cummings should apologize to him for his statement to the Grand Jury youth. If Cummings does not apologize, it will catch up with him. Because I'll be in the vanguard to tell the people of Grand Jury that Cummings does not respect the people of Grand Jury. He knew who he was carrying. He knew the kind of human being he associated himself with. And I wouldn't be surprised if you take Prophet Key on a tour someday. You, as a political leader, you have to choose your associate carefully. If you, Yeke Koluba, had just been involved in an issue, standing on car with bare feet and cursing the president's mother, you take the man on a counter store. That's the judgment of the company we're talking about. That's not.
Well,
That's
let me ask you this here, guys. If you guys want to leave here, this guy here, I'm trying to get him to somewhere. If you guys want to leave here, welcome here. Yeah, get a drink here. By 6 o'clock, I'll be wrapping up. So Gibson, let me just ask you this: causing the president murder, causing the president. Okay, it's completely ridiculous, and that's why the opposition, the government, their talking point here. I don't see it being concise. I don't see it being persuasive because nobody proven to be. So they cause the president murder. People not acting, even though I'm just seeing this statement coming from the executive mansion from the president, but I think I see it as an obituary. How many days now?
I mean, it's not obituary.
It's a big obituary. Let's be honest here. Why he has to work on Sunday to go to church and make such a statement? This thing is out there. It's being out there, and people been talking. People are frowning on it.
It's not. Look, Alphonso, you know how many Zogos have called George Yama? You think I'm gonna waste my time talking about it? You know how many ordinary human beings have caused George Yama?
Why
Yeke is not an ordinary person. The man is in twofold. He's a representative. He represents a district. His action will be construed by his followers as good. And it's going to be a continuous thing that will continue. Number two, if Yeke is causing the murder of a president, honor the president, private part, he's not just doing it to the president. He's doing it to my mother too. He's doing it to my sister who is hearing him. He's doing it to my aunt who is hearing him. He is corrupting our system. This man politics is toxic.
So
this man is a demon in our political arena.
And I agree, those are value points. But yeah, I wish I were providing some consultancy to the CDC or the opposition, because all of these people, they don't have any good senses in their hair. They need to follow the doctrines of Bobby Wine of Uganda. If this is the case now, yeah, they need to follow the doctrines of Bobby Wine. Bobby Wine driver was killed when he was going to his own town, and Detector Urawe Museveni planted his thoughts and went after him to assassinate him, to kill him. But that did not happen. But guess what? And that's why these oppositions and these so-called advocates in this these ballot-driven, because they're the one even give birth to George Weah, all of them. I don't know whether you are part of that deplorable, but the Henry Costard and all of these people, they were all hanging with George Weah. They were all dining with what her name said, Helen Johnson Sirleaf. And now they're coming out, the Sano Johnson, who's superintendent, not superintendent, senator, all of these people here. But because of the lack of strategic plans on the part of government to articulate its message, this is what gets us to be where we are. I think one of the strategic moves by national government, Professor Zawa here, Yeke Koluba will be going 2023. Why you think the ruling party is supposed to be doing that? They need to double up their speed and see whether they can produce a candidate. That's how you do it in the political war, to subdue your opponent.
People cannot. But Alfonso, how many times have we said?
Oh, you want to do it for them, right?
Let me tell you why the opposition is very disorganized. They claim that George Weah is incapable of running the country. In 3 years, they expected George Weah to answer all the political questions, all the economic questions.
You're not a minister of information. That's the work of Eugene Lamy Fagon, who is another.
I agree.
There's something out there to endanger other people, and you sit down here. You want to be the defense line for them, Gibson Garrow.
No. I'm going to discuss it because you brought it up. I will not discuss it if you don't bring it up. But this opposition, we want opposition that will hold.
Which position are you in?
I am no position. These opposition should hold the government feet to the fire. That's what we want. We want them to be tough. We want them to be issue driven.
Okay.
I want to see them producing critique of government economic policy, critique of government political policy, critique of government culture policy.
Okay. Gibson Jerut, the time has caught up with me here. I want to thank you very much, folks. That's how I'm going to leave it to all my guests here and our followers, to people online. I want to thank you so much for being part of this program here this evening here. I wanted the Honorable get an update for me. Honorable?
It was too bad for me, man.
It was too bad. And then breaking news, any new development?
No new news. No new news.
I know the line was so bad of, and but I really want to appreciate always your willingness to have this sort of conversation, whether we agree or disagree, and that's part of leadership. You guys should be held accountable. I am paying you. I mean, like, bro, but we still paying taxes, so you guys are accountable.
I know.
You're accountable to all. But I want to thank you so much. Your willingness to come forward. All we want is civility and sanity. I am a crime man. I don't care what happened. But at the same time, we will not support anything that is wrong. If anybody think because of one crime man does something wrong, you want to demonize the rest of the people, that nonsense that happened in the 80s and 90s and get us to be in this mess, then of course they're going to see the other side of us here as well, because we want to go after those who is causing the problem. And those people, they must be arrested. They must be given the fair chance to go through the judicial process and stuff like that. That's what our argument is. And people to suggest, and other advocates and other people to suggest, Grand Jide is insignificant because Grand Jide does not have this vote to win presidency, is stupid, is out of touch, is not being realistic. You cannot divorce Grand Jide from part of the Republic of Liberia. I don't care what you do. The country since 64, he was independent. He has been part of Liberia. So I don't see any possible scenario right now that you think any country for that matter. But what happened was ridiculous. It should have been avoided, understanding the tough by political field of what is happening now. But I really want to thank you so much, and even coming back, because we know the internet system is crazy in the back here, but by just even coming back, that's something I very much appreciate. Do you want to give a word before we wrap it up? I was almost about to go off.
Okay, yes. I just want to thank everyone that participated. It's so unfortunate that I really would love to hear the cross-section of views people have to exchange, because those things also help us to grow in our leadership roles. So I like to listen to a cross-section of people talking across the aisle. So I'm grateful, and I'll always be available as the news continue to come out. I will avail myself to speak to you, to speak to whoever wants to hear me.
Okay.
So
another thing, I think you are on this election commission, something, right?
Yeah, I'm the chair. I am the chairman on elections inauguration at the House of Representatives. In fact, I think we should be having some public hearing by the 12th and the 13th of this month, because we are making a new electoral laws, so we could speak on it also before then, to see what recommendations people are making after the public hearing. We could talk about it, so that when people know what we're talking about, the reforming the electoral laws of our country. People are proposing that we should move the electoral period to December or in the dry season, based on what we are encountering with our roads network.
I think that's as realistic. I think we need to give this to the diaspora community for them to also have their say, because look at the road.
Yeah, so I'm going to forward some of these things to you. Then we can set up another time again to speak about it and speak clearly on the electoral reform process, which we are serving as chairman on.
Okay, that would be awesome. I'm looking forward to getting that document, and we can give it a public discussion. Whatever applicable to be amended, that of course can come into place. Okay, but hopefully will be on to cover that election. We want to make sure that it is free and fair, and like a democracy, take a course. We are in the 21st century.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you. God bless you.
All right then. Bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, well, folks, I'm Alphonso Zean. So, what a crazy busy day here. It's 6:04. I gotta be back here 7 o'clock this time, and that's what I want to do. I wanted to bring the politics inside first and bomb everybody up, and then before I go to bed or go to work, we climb myself with a good word. This evening, I'm gonna be having Roberta Go. AKA the King's Daughter. She just released a new album, Bless, Call Me Bless. She's going to be joining me here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After all of this crazy thing that is ongoing, I think probably we have turned our back to God, and that's what the lack of visions, the lack of farsightedness on the part of our leaders and everybody just going to doing their own thing. I think we need to call God's divine intervention. But folks, I want to thank you so much for being part of this program. And I think the election to reform are going to push to have that document here for us here in the diaspora to also form part of that conversation. There are a lot of things that are ongoing within the electoral process. Yet, look at the country, no good road network. I think that makes sense to make some sort of a turning point. That at certain seasons where roads will be, people can freely move about. Roads will be accessible. We don't know when these road pavement and stuff going to complete. Those things we've been hearing them quite a while around here now. No indication that it's going to end right now. So there must be some sort of amendment to make the accommodations in the Constitution. At least what we say our dry season town, and people can even walk, go to the nearby towns and villages to be able to exercise their democratic right. I can't. Mama in Moravia, she can't even go back because she can't get on motorbike. That's crazy. So it means if she can't go back to her country, it means she's not even going to vote because where she registered, she can't go. She can't get on a motorbike from Ganta to Grange. So, and there are many other places, the Lofa, the Maryland, the Sando River G. It's just all over the place. So this is very serious. Hopefully the issue of this road here is overdue. And even not just under the pavement. I can't wait to bring the public work minister here, who happens to be my own friend, brother, and mentor. If the road can be paved here, why they can't adapt the systems of La Côte d'Ivoire? They assess those places during the rainy season. And for God's sake, take these yellow machines during the dry seasons and create some sort of slope where there will be a good flow of water, clear those places, refill those places, and stuff like that. But they will sit until everything go down the drain. And then they say they want to fix. What the heck is that? I can't wait to have Minister Mambuto Vla Nyepan here. Why the Ministry of Public Work can't even go to some of those places? Some of them, they are just quarter a mile, just a little distance. But they sit, nothing is done. They sit and talk, no actions, nothing is implemented. And then as a result, the whole thing just go down the drain. They could just visit some of those places, create a clear the area, those bad places that have more to get some real data to refill it. I'm not an engineer, as Samson told, who is an engineer, but he sits in California, Sacramento, and every day and they roll. When you tell him to go, he can't go. He can't go to his own total time. And then he said he want to be a police road traffic director here. That is so ridiculous. Folks, I want to be back here right here at 7 p.m. Just a little bit in 40 more minutes. I'm going to be right back here. Really tired, but I cannot cancel her program. This date was set. We didn't know this whole crazy grand thing was going to come about. And but it's also important. That's what news is all about. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening. For those of you who still have the time, today is Sunday. Come and get some good word of inspiration. Here from Roberta Gosh, you're going to be here. And please, those of you here with us on the 9th of August, we're going to have a big musical concert here where 20 artists all over the place from Liberia, right here, US, and other parts of the world are going to be here. And it's going to be climaxed with a fundraiser. These ladies, they are doing something extraordinary in Mount Gibbet in Lofa County. Barala, Liberia is the direct beneficiary. So until then, folks, I want to say thank you so much. I want to say thank you to all of my guests, participants, studio guests, our special guests, Honorable Ellis Jesse Agren, and of course, you high committed and dedicated Liberians following us on our Facebook, LIB Messengers, and our Twitter feeds. 3-4 places broadcast simultaneously right here on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet, Liberia Public Radio. Until then, I'm Alphonso Zean, so have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye. I'll catch you later in a few minutes.
Yahweh, you are too much for me. Yahweh, Yahweh, oh, Yahweh, you are too much for me. Hey, Yahweh, oh, you are too much for me. Jehovah Elohim God, you are too much for me.
The search for honest answers in the Zwedru saga involving Representative Yeka and ANC Alexander Benedict is taking more critical conversation on the Diaspora Informative News Network Liberia Public Radio. Grand Jita Legislative condemned the incident. Now Caucus Chair Alex Grant will be appearing live on LTV with Alphonso Zean. In addition, we will be getting dissenting views from Grand Gedians and non-Grand Gedians. Join me live in today's edition of Freedom Watch on LPR TV.
Have you heard the news? Well, worry no more. Caucus photo and video production pattern providing elegant wedding conventions and birthday video collaborating since 2006. Paying attention to detail throughout the day and taking time editing process to create a unique video. You will want to watch family members and future generations shooting quietly and professionally and without distracting you or the guests. For more information, please contact us at 484-786-3337. That's 484-786-3337. Or we can also be reached www.cousinphotovideoproduction.com. Please tell Cousin Photo and Video Production that Ashford the Giant Golly sent.
We're going to leave it here by 7 o'clock. I'm going to be here. I want to say a big thank you to station manager Nathaniel Cryport for keeping up to speed. What is happening to Manzola Gisi, Samson Branto, Mike Dant, and of course, I was singing for photographer Noto Jerusalem Allen right there in Philadelphia. Those folks are the one keeping the wheel of this industry to moving. Mr. Manager, thank you so much, and have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.